Colonel Wyatt hits the screen, got stories bold and keen. Old soldier, sharp and mean, tells truths they've never seen. Rugby lover with a roar, Africa flowing in his core. YouTube rants they can't ignore, his passion makes his heart soar. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Military mind, keen and wise, truths come out, no disguise. South African skies, in his eyes, hear his voice, no surprise. Retired soldier with the fight, in the dark he brings the light. Angry rants, truths ignite, join the cause, join the ride. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Enemies knocked on his door, trolls attack, but he's more with each click. Watch him soar on the truth waves, he explodes. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Right now, don't miss the brawl.
Take a picture.
Don't miss the brawl. Welcome back, folks. Sorry, my white t-shirt's showing there. Not exactly in line with the black top. Welcome back to the program. It is Monday evening, 3 March, but it's tomorrow in Europe, Africa, and points further east. So from the past, welcome back to the same old place that you laughed about, where the dreams remain the same since you hung around. Do we all need him? Yeah, where we see him. Well, we got him on the spot. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, Cotter. Gabe Kaplan, 70s sitcom with John Travolta and Freddie Boob Boob Washington, Arnold Horshack, and Epstein. Yes, that was the show. Anyway, folks, welcome back to the program. For those who aren't keeping up, I have a different schedule this week. For a good portion of the week, I'm doing consulting and out of the network during business hours here. So as a consequence, I'm doing a shortened version of this night one, back to just an hour and a half to 2 hours, probably 2 hours tonight. We'll see how it goes. And then I tried to do one on the road as a breaking story. Turned out not to be really a breaking story. It's fake news being perpetrated by the media. There was some newsworthy information in the report from SABC and the Independent Online that they confirmed that there is, in fact, a case open of high treason filed by MK Party and others. But I reported that story on February 10th. And virtually nobody noticed. Certainly not Joel Pollack or Breitbart when I reported, and now they're reporting on it too. So anyway, but thankfully they have a much bigger platform. Folks that have a bigger platform, it's great that they're finally reporting on the stories that I've been covering for years. And it's good to see we're having some growth on the channel's consequences. Everybody's suddenly paying attention to these stories. Thank you all for being here. To all the new subscribers, to the new members, over 800 paying members of this channel. I realize that's probably a one-off. A lot of people signed up just to see what it was. And a lot of people also got gifted memberships. So we'll see how that goes. But still, 800 is a shocker. I'm gobsmacked by that. Thank you so much for that. The most successful month in the history of the channel. More successful almost than the entire history of the channel. Not really fully, but close to it. Exciting stuff. So I did a video which I released a little while ago. I was going to wait and pick the right hour in the morning, but no, I just get it out there as quick as I can. Don't worry about the algorithm. Just get the video out there, and hopefully people find it interesting. And this is the treason case, which I reported on 3 weeks ago. There was a little bit of news in there, and so I just rubbish all the nonsense. It's so sad to see the bought caters and bought elites of South Africa towing the party line. Thule Mondesele, former prosecutor from Stellenbosch, a whole series of lies and just total nonsense. I will be making a video about that. Maybe we'll just play it here shortly. God bless, that t-shirt's really bothering me. I'm looking at it. I put together the clips that I'm going to comment on, and maybe I'll just do that here live. For those of you who are here tonight, you can see what I've got to say about it. It's really sad to see the nonsense. Sean's going to hit the bed shortly, okay? Let me say hello to folks in the chat very quickly. We'll do a troll search here and make sure no trolls are hanging out yet, or at least haven't commented. Hendo's here. Joe Neiman, Skulk Bodenhorst, Thomas Holmes. Good morning. Off to work soon. Okay, all right. Thank you for catching up later on. Thank you for popping on now. Get a view. Hank Duploy, Gideon Maloney, Rebel Refugees, Pierre Orban, Michelle Heath, Master Q, Sean Mandich, Buongiorno, Salve, Graham Kelly, and Sean Abbey. Hello, Abby. Dylan Weirn, Sonia Bren, welcome to you. Yappy Brandt, Luis Rayner, Vanessa Johannes Pretorius, William, Kathleen Bernard, Alfred Connor Boer, hello to you. Estelle Slabert, Oregon. Cappy, welcome back. For the last 3 years, I lived very close to it. Met many Russian, Ukrainian refugees, and a few veterans. Very destructive families, such as war. Yeah, the clever and wealthy people are the ones running it, so they're not there. David Wilson, Richard Kuhn, Willem Janssen van Ensborg, Jarethra Hamann. And then we got Heidi Kruger popping in here. She's got the Dutch flag. Hoi, hoi. Alfonso Ferrer, welcome to you. And Yappy counted down. Nicolette Matthias.com Queens. Okay. Glad to see you here again. Jumbo Spotter Leon Crow. Veritas Bicky. Hey there. Someone else in Pennsylvania is with me tonight. This is the first time you heard this song. I wasn't going to play it tonight, but figured I'd do it again. Glad you like it. PD Descant, that's a viewer who joined the program to watch all the news, and then that viewer has already left the program. He's got a new job, doesn't have time to watch the program more, so we're grateful to that viewer for being here for the short time that she was here, and for penning that song using AI. It's brilliant. Amelia, welcome to you. Barbie, I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Life in plastic, it's fantastic. You can brush my hair, touch me everywhere. Come on, Barbie, let's go party. I'm a blonde bimbo girl in a fantasy world. Touch me here, touch me there, hanky panky. Oh, I love that song by Aqua. I love that song. Oh, I still love it, man, after all these years. And the video is cool, too. Come on, Barbie, let's go party. JJ Pretorius. Wow, one interview last night with Tucker and Ernst. I haven't watched it. I just found it on Twitter. Hour and 45 minutes. Yeah, but Answer's probably getting a big backlash, and I'm not surprised about that. Ellie, Sloth Puppy, but that's what happens when you tell the truth. Truth tellers are awesome, are usually often the target of the attacks. Troyco, welcome to you. Yvonne Farrell, I agree with you how much views it has and likes. I'd love Chris to have so many views. Yeah. No, that interview has 1.9 million views. Well, somebody needs to get me on Tucker, get me on Joe Rogan, and we'll be getting those views. Hey, Jacqueline Bota, how are you? And Volmerans. But, we're still here. We got 198 people, or we got 19 people watching the program. We still put the same effort in, and come day after day after day after day. The beard gets shorter and the wisdom gets longer. Jumbo Spotter, Leslie Wust, AJ Qin, Maria Skepas, Henri Ellers, welcome to you. Okay, Elmarie Mayer, Fred Brenga, Stefan Olivier, good day. Thanks for your posts and videos. Your facts are really valued and help people making up their minds as we're being fed total lies. You are. You're being fed total. You're like mushrooms. South Africans are mushrooms. You're being fed shit in the dark by the media and by the elites, because the elites, you've endangered their model of sucking up all the wealth from everyone else to the oligarchs, distributing it incorruptly among the politicians and keeping everyone else down here. You've really messed that model up by simply speaking up. By the way, if you haven't voted in my poll, you should do that. You should go to my poll and vote in my poll. I've got a poll. It's pinned to my profile on Twitter. Okay, so let me get you to, okay, so here's my Twitter account. Just go over there. It's pinned right at the top. 2,163 people. So almost nobody's voted since yesterday. So if you weren't here the last couple of days, go vote. And there's 3 questions there about whether you would consider, it's a 7-day poll. So the more we get, the better it is. The more it is. I mean, if I only get 2,000 votes and I tell the ANC, look, 1,500 people want to leave the country, they're going to go, that's what we said. Nobody wants to go. So if you want to go or you're interested, get over there and answer that question. All righty. Okay. Charles, welcome to you. Valerie Bursch-Zeitzman. It's actually Zeitzman, the way it's written. So David Wilson, let's learn guitar. I don't have any musical skills, so I'll have to pass on it. Andre Nell, Peter von der Westhuizen, Roderick Adams, Bach, and Gibrand Zander von Rensburg, Natasha Posthumus, Russell Blows. Russell, that sucks, man. No pun intended. Russell Blows, that sucks. Thank you for the nice view of the lake you posted yesterday. I think it looks beautiful, green, and lush in summertime. I posted a lake yesterday? I don't recall. Sorry, I post a lot of stuff. You think I'd remember that. Thanks for everything you're doing here. I pray God will bless your work abundantly. Well, I hope so too. More viewers. More people joining the Wyatt Army would be great. Yep. Notice that I haven't once since this all started. Just realize that right now. It's now over a month. It was February 4th when Trump put the initial tweet out. I think it was the 4th. And he said, or it was I call it a tweet. It was a Truth Social post, and he's like, "Oh, bad things are happening in South Africa." And then on the 7th, he issued the warning order, the executive order. I just realized that I have never once mentioned that I have merchandise, and have never once pushed my merchandise. Why? Because that's not why I'm here. I only have the merchandise people ask for it. My merchandise actually isn't the best selection right now, so maybe I should consider doing some updated Wyatt Army merch. But anyway, haven't pushed that stuff. First time I mention it. Wow, how many hours have I broadcast? Hundreds of hours since then. And how many videos have I done since then? Since that time, I've done over 100 prepared videos, and I've done 2 broadcasts per day at a minimum. So pretty crazy. All right, Omegon, thank you for trying to reach out to them. Charmaine says, do you think that Zelensky is trying to keep the war going to stay in power to get more money before his time is up? I think he's a megalomaniac. I think he believes his press that he's a great wartime leader, and he's just a wuss with a sweater on. That's all he is. He wouldn't last 5 seconds at the front. He would cower and cry. I think they'll still join. We aren't getting our notifications on time since yesterday. Well, it's been going on for a lot of people for a long time. Your shows are important to know you are a daily French YouTuber. Yeah, Veritas, I am. Did you find my articles on there? I'm all over the place, man. I'm all over the place. Yep. But the big boys don't take their reports. They don't take them. Breitbart, no way to submit an article to them. The Business Pack Review, BPR, they did a fake hiring for an editor. I've been an editor before. I'm among the most eminently qualified editors out there. I sent them my CV. They didn't even have the courtesy and knowledge. They got it 3 times over the course of 18 months. They put this listing up, and they're just a bunch of shitheads. You don't have the courtesy to tell someone you at least received it and you're considering. You don't just ignore it. So they hire behind the nose, wet, snot nose, 18, 19-year-olds with no experience and no skills, and then they publish crappy stuff because they're poor editors and poor writers. They wanted somebody to mentor writers, and geez, who better than somebody that has, in one academic year, find me a postgraduate lecturer that is an advisor for 9 theses in 1 year. Seriously, I did 9 in 1 year. It's backbreaking on top of my regular job. Yeah, anyway, and these were mostly Africans that couldn't read and write in English properly. So you can imagine it wasn't just, is your thesis on the right basis? Are you using the right methodology here? Are you using regression analysis properly? Are you, it wasn't just that. It's also, sorry, that's not a verb, that kind of thing. What a nightmare that was. But yes, I am published. In fact, I've been writing an article for Daily Friend for 2 weeks, and every time I get to it, I just can't get back to it. Hopefully it won't be overcome by events, but it's about the lack of sanctions on South Africa and the possibility for it. So hopefully I'll get it done, but I'm just so tired and so busy trying to catch a little sleep here and there and keep the news coming. But thank you, Veritas. Yeah, I'm on Daily Friend. I've got a few articles on there. I also have a Substack. I do have a Substack, for those who don't know. It's less frequent, but most of the things you find on Daily Friend will be on there, plus things that I don't bother putting in places like Daily Friend. So let me get my Substack link for you guys. Substack. I understand that Roman has left Substack. Not sure why. Dashboard. Come on. Okay. Updates on how you get revenue. What revenue? I only have 77 subscribers on Substack because I never really push it. So where is my channel? View site. There you go. That's the one I want. There you go. All right, so here's my Substack. That's what it looks like. There's a new sheriff in town. Yep. Anyway, drones here, there, and everywhere. When drones were all the hot rage a few months back, did an article on there. That was also published in a local newspaper. So I've been published in local newspapers. I'm published in the Daily Friend. I published on Substack. Yeah, so kind of a Renaissance man. The only thing I don't do is invent things. I do invent headaches for the political left. Thank you for your welcome. Enjoying your show. My dad is from Wales, and that is why my surname is pronounced Matthias. Okay, not a big deal, as I've been a Matt Matthias since high school. Well, Nicolette, when I see Matthias, it's German to me, so that's why I say Matthias if I got it wrong. Yolanda von Rendsburg, thank you very much. Fetten Naomi, now we have fungi status. Indeed. Welcome, my fellow Neanderthals, canines, and cave fungus. Amount of trolls and haters last night on Tucker. I don't know how many were there, but I had a lot on my video. My last video that I posted, oh my gosh, I had to go through and clean out. I used to never delete comments, but people are just racist and bigots, and no one needs to see that stuff. It really detracts from your experience. Yes, Pricky, 800 paying members, 52,000 subscribers while you were sleeping. You're like your Sandra Bullock, my friend. You're like Sandra Bullock while you were sleeping. How you doing there, fellow Pennsylvanian? Penn's Forest, that's where we live, in the middle of Penn's Forest. Pennsylvania, from the Latin for forest. Pennsylvania, Penn's Woods. Yep, William Penn, a wonderful human being who they tried to remove his statue from his homestead in Philadelphia. The woke crowd, William Penn, who ensured that the Lenape Indians had rights. They had the same rights at a trial. They had the right to bring English settlers to trial for encroaching on their land or stealing their game. Yeah, the man who learned local Lenape language, the man who allowed everyone to worship in their freedom, who treated everyone the same, a champion of everyone's rights. And these scumbags, because he was a white old dude, wanted to cancel him. Ooh, that almost happened in Philadelphia before Trump came in office. We stopped that garbage. Well, I don't blame you for not having a Facebook site, but you almost have to have one if you're involved with certain things. Notification show seems to disappear. Sarah Skuman, that is what YouTube does. It's called shadow banning. Notice I was getting 1,000 to 2,000 subscribers every day, and the content quality hasn't declined. The subject matter hasn't become any less interesting, but the number of subscribers has dropped dramatically. I can look and see at how few people were introduced to the channel and give you an example very quickly here. Let me take a look at my audience. So, on the 27th of February, I had 80,539 returning viewers. That's great. But I only had 17,481 viewers. Do you know what that means? That's the best I've had in a while. That means that YouTube is not showing my video or recommending it to other people. They're only recommending people who are already subscribers, and even not a lot of you are getting it. But now I'm down to 5,500. When I only have 5,578 viewers, that's only 5,500 chances to get a subscriber. And if you're lucky, you might get 1 or 2% subscribers. So that's not going to be a lot, but I'm exceeding that rate. Yeah, it's just really sad. And here's the other thing too. My video is growing my audience. The top, what is it? They always put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 top videos. All 7 of my videos all have very high viewer retention. That's rare. That hasn't been happening in the past. So yeah, anyway, it's shadow banning, guys, and it's back. I know it would come back, but I wanted to get to 50,000 before it happened. We did. Now we're growing at a glacial pace again, despite videos performing quite well. It shows you that people are sticking around who've watched it, which is very good. I'm glad to see that, but we need to get more people aware of it. And that isn't going to happen unless people share the content, people with big followings on Twitter, people with big followings elsewhere. It's just not going to happen. So we gain a viewer here and there. But one thing's for sure, I'm gaining viewers on almost every video I produce, some hundreds of people, but I only gain viewers by producing a new video. And that's a lot of work, a lot of time, but we're trying to reach as big an audience as possible. It's funny because I was watching earlier the internet anarchist who does fantastic work, exposés, destroying people who are evil and misbehaving on YouTube. And I watched the one about, he was talking about what's his name? Something Somali. What do you call it? What did that guy call himself? Somali. The one who got in trouble in Korea, that guy. You'll know who I'm talking about. He's not even Somali. He's from Arizona. He went to Arizona State, and he's just an obnoxious ass who went around insulting Japanese, and he altered a video in Korea. He was kissing this person. So 2 of the people that he interfered with, one of the girls on Twitch, she's famous on Twitch, she has a few 100,000 subscribers, and he you can't have someone that's banned appear on your program. And she had to quickly contact Twitch so her account wouldn't be shut down because that was her main source of income. And he was just an ass. He saw her in the main square there in Tokyo, and he comes, hey, and he starts talking to her. And she realized who he was. He walked away and he started calling her names. And she got a hold of Twitch before her account was shut down, thankfully. But she only has like 16,000 people following her on YouTube. And this other girl who became famous because she's a Korean YouTuber, she makes videos about life in Korea. And this guy took her and used AI to make it look like they're kissing, which is a criminal offense of 7 years in prison in Korea without someone's permission. He did it. And she wound up dropping the charges. But anyway, so she became famous because of that. She has 3,000 subscribers. So, I mean, 52,000. Here I am discounting the channel. It's actually not exactly tiny. So, wow. I watched the whole thing. The chat was open the whole way. I read it all. What a disgrace. Some of those comments. Yeah, Armageddon, that just shows you a lot of bigots and racists are out there, including white folks. It's unbelievable. Gerard Benada, welcome to you. And P.T. DeConte, Jan Reda, Chris Thunder, Chris Marie. Okay. Yeah, I was working when that thing came out. I couldn't watch it. So it's a bad time. Yeah, 9 theses in 1 year. 9. You're not supposed to take on more than 3. But I couldn't turn the African students away. No one else would take it. No one understood where they're coming from. I mean, no, there's only one other French linguist who worked at the War College who was a professor, and he wasn't taking these things, and because he had other responsibilities. And so you can't take a Francophone's paper if you don't know French and fix it. Because Francophone speakers tend to screw up English because they think in French and write English in French, if that makes sense to you. A lot of people do that. A lot of people don't have the flexibility, especially if they learn a language later in life, to think in one language and write in another language. I can do that for the most part in the languages I'm very fluent. I can think in English but talk in French, if that makes sense to you. I can think in English but talk in German. And the way you construct language is very obvious for Francophone because French is such a stupid language when it comes to the use of verbs. It's really crazy. And the way they use adjectives. So it's very obvious. But a lot of Americans and a lot of editors who are trying to edit something from a French writer, they get confused and get lost, and you get lost in the grammar of it. Anyway, but 9 theses in 1 year. Just crazy. Jumbo, go to school. Everybody has to go somewhere. What's going on here, man? And nobody has a job, but everybody's going to work. What's going on? We should send the trolls a flower. They have no idea how much they're trolling. Help the algorithm spread that video better and further. Oh, what? Of his? Yeah, American are no longer from Africa, born and bred in USA. Of course they're not African. Who said they were? Not me. ACP Picks, welcome to you. Albert von Leyen. Patrick says, just over a month till I'm back home. Just hoping things don't deteriorate before then. Should real stuff happen, I need to be there. Yeah, no, I got you, Patrick. Gotcha. I've been posting live streams on X for the whole while now. I've been trying to push for sharing. Well, thank you. Thank you for that, Omegon. Appreciate it. Good morning. Good morning, Susan. What you need to do is put in there, if you're gonna share the links to the videos, put in there, hey, if you're interested in what's really happening in South Africa, and if you want to know what the refugee program is all about, listen to someone that's been there, done that, tells you the truth, has no vested interest in it, something like that, and maybe people find it. Johnny Somali, that's the guy. Johnny Somali, 1440. That jackass. You know, he's going to jail in Korea, baby. He's going to jail. By the way, Internet Archivist or Anarchist, what a great production. That guy's amazing. I hope he never picks me as a target, but then I don't misbehave, so I should be fine. We're on it for True News. Thank you, Gerard. Appreciate that. Translate into Mandarin. Good morning. Okay, what else? Mike Weston, welcome to you. Maria Bessalar, welcome back to you. You guys are quickly becoming, regulars on the program. And Picky says, Chris, it's always full of history and information. Oh, he's always. You are so inspiring, interesting. I'm going to research William Penn now. See you at Gettysburg this summer. Well, if I'm here, I might be in South Africa, I might be, taking over Lesotho in a coup. You never know. Who knows where I'll be this summer? But yeah, if you're down here, we'll definitely do Gettysburg. I'll give you a tour. I'll give everybody a tour. It's free. It's a pretty informative tour. Unfortunately, Little Round Top has been blocked off. I hope they've finished. They've had it blocked off forever. The last 3 tours I've given to people, couldn't take them up there. It's very frustrating. Anyway, fellow South Africans, look at the Colonel's clock. It's 23:22. Yes, that's correct. Vet and Naomi, you're very correct. That is 23:25, 20 degrees Celsius, and it's the 3rd of March, 3/3/25. Monday, that's a little white on the top. The reflection's a little bit off there. Let me adjust that just a little bit. There you go. I must have moved that clock a little bit so I had a little bit of reflection on it. Now you can see the white on the top. When the day is the day, it's not green, it's white. It's a pretty cool clock. I get beat up all the time because it slows down and it's usually a minute behind if I don't pay attention. So there you go. Yeah, it's 23:30 and I went to bed at 3 o'clock and I got up at 7 o'clock and I went to work all day. And I came back here and I did a live stream on my old channel. You know, for a small audience, only 25 people showed up. That's fine. I still have a commitment to that channel. I've neglected it because of South Africa recently, but I do go back on @Real Chris Wyatt. So I did that stream as mostly South Africans showed up. So thank you guys for showing up. And we talked about Volodymyr Zelensky and Donald Trump for about 20 minutes. And then I worked on a video. I put my notes together. I did my thoughts, did my analysis. I recorded it. Then I started editing it and almost finished editing. Went and got something to eat because I was hungry. Watched a TV show or two, an old sitcom from the 1970s from the UK. With Richard Briers, the guy that played Monarch of the Glen, the patriarch of the family. Fascinating to see him in his prime back in the 70s. Then I came back in here, worked on another video, which I've recorded, and I'm going to edit that after the show and publish it about illiteracy in South Africa. But, you know, that'll be fake news. Anything that's negative about South Africa is fake news. And maybe it would warrant, if you were South African, a treason charge for telling people the truth. That's correct, Abe. Gettysburg was the big battle, the decisive battle of the Civil War. That's when the war pretty much ended for the South. That was the high tide of the South. JJ Funnemever loves the news, but got to go to bed. All right, JJ, that's fine. Thank you for popping in. At least we get a view on it. Minus 6 degrees Celsius. No, maybe where you are, it's a little higher altitude where I'm at. It's 35 here. Let me see if that's still correct. So that's 30 degrees. So that's minus 1 or 2. So you're up in the mountains up there in that part of Pennsylvania. So a little bit chillier there. Mark Carter, hello to you. Yes, I'm still stuck on Monday for half an hour there, Mickey. You are correct. Liesel Holzhausen, there's a very German name. Liesel Holzhausen. Oh, meine schöne Dame, gnädige Frau, wie geht es Ihnen heute Abend? Ich hoffe, dass alles in Ordnung bei Ihnen ist. Da in Südafrika. Yes. Crypto Noob is back. Ernst is going to get so much backlash, but he just spoke facts. They can't touch him. Writing is on the wall. Yep. You're welcome, Abe. My pleasure. My pleasure, my pleasure, my pleasure. Okay. Good morning, Chris. The ANC is going to arrest the 4 USA and convict them to jail, even if it's unlawful. They need protection. Just my opinion. Well, Tunis Pretorius, I will tell you this. Oh, my goodness. Luke, he just gave 50 memberships. I can't salute all these. I can't salute these. I'll salute you, Luke. Thank you for those 50 memberships, Lucky. Wow, that's crazy. Trying to push me to 1,000 paid memberships. Wow, you are just incredibly generous there. I'm sure most of those people either won't have the means or won't be interested in renewing, but still, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Even if 1 or 2 do, that's great. And if they don't, all those got a free membership. That's awesome for them. So that's one reason why I have to do these members programs, to give people value for it so they want to come back. We did one on Sunday, and I talked about a little bit about my life, my history, because people keep asking about it. Tunis Pretorius, you say they're going to arrest them when they come back from the USA. How do you know they're not already back in South Africa? Yeah, okay, well, I will tell you this. If those gentlemen are arrested, Donald Trump would go batshit crazy, because what you've essentially done is just insult the United States in the highest fashion you possibly can. People are entitled to free speech under the South African Constitution, freedom of assembly under the South African Constitution, freedom of travel under the South African Constitution, travel from South Africa to the United States, committed no crimes, and approach the President of the United States to get the President of the United States to not sanction South Africa and to not kick South Africa out of the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act. Given the fact the ANC has not even done that, they've not even approached the United States, they've not even contacted the United States, they've not even asked the United States not to kick them out of AGOA, which they're no longer eligible for, it seems to me that these people not only acted in the interest of South Africans, but they did nothing whatsoever. There's no legal basis whatsoever for the allegation of treason. It's simply lawfare to attack innocent people, to bog them down in nonsense. And if they get arrested, well, I'm going to tell you right now, if you think South Africa is whining about the government, whining about sanctions and punishment and punitive action, arrest them and watch what happens. Watch what happens. Donald Trump has been very restrained. There's been no punitive action taken against South Africa, despite all the lying and the whining and the racism, the bigotry coming out of politicians and South Africans, especially in the media, all their constant bullshit. Despite all that, ladies and gentlemen, Trump has taken zero punitive measures. And this whining about, well, I cut the aid. It's our money. It's not yours. Footsec. Come up with it yourself. That's our money. You're not promised that money. You're not guaranteed that money. Oh, people are losing their jobs. That's because the South African government hasn't taken responsibility for a program that they're responsible for 22 years. 22 years. How long are we supposed to carry your lazy bums? Not you all in the audience. I'm talking about the South African government. Yeah, so Trump took no punitive action. The refugee program is an internal program for us, who we let in our country. It doesn't affect you. Oh, it does because of brain drain, and that's going to suck for South Africa. But that's too bad for you. You shouldn't rule a country as a racist regime. The National Party ruled as a racist regime, and look what happened to them. They gave up. But the ANC isn't going to give up. They're not going to go without a fight. They're just going to keep being bigots and racist against everybody. All right, so... Wow, yeah, wow. I think Lukey did it before, too, once or twice before. It might be like 150 memberships attributable to Lukey. Government is run by slave-driving fascists that need to treat us like crap. Well, there you go. Yep, the heat will be turned up in South Africa now. Well, yes, if they arrest them, the heat will definitely be turned up. Stefan the Pale African, welcome to you. You're correct, but ANC can't be trusted. I didn't say they could be trusted. If they arrest AfriForum for treason, they're basically saying the United States of America is South Africa's enemy. That's why the ANC is using MK to press the treason charges. Correct, Charmaine. But let me correct something here very quickly, folks. This charge was laid on the 10th of February. AfriForum had not even left South Africa. AfriForum and Solidarity were in South Africa when Trump did this. They had no communication with the White House. Trump reached this not because of Elon Musk, not because of AfriForum. These are lies. This is propaganda being perpetrated and repeated by the media and by the likes of Thuli Mondesela and all these other captured and bought and paid for apparatchiks and academics and media personality. They're all just bought and paid for. They're lying. Once again, and I'm going to have to play this video and I'm going to comment, okay? And so I would ask that if you see this tonight, me do it, please, when I post the video, still go watch the video. At least let it play so I get credit for it. I mean, it'd be terrible if I have 400 people here that get to watch it tonight, and then all I get is 50 views on a video because you already saw it. So you're gonna get to see it in real time instead of me editing it. That should be cool. If Solidarity 4 arrested, then it will be more ammunition for Trump. Exactly. Yes, AfriForum Solidarity are going to have it tough whenever ANC involves the Hawks. They're going to go after them. Well, yeah, they don't care about it. Kathleen, but I mean, the Hawks went after the Zondo Commission arrestees. Who's been prosecuted? Nobody. Too many bloody Stevens on here now. Yeah, they're morons. They're dumbass, dipshit, dingbat, doorknob, frickin' turd balls who think AfriForum had something to do with the cuts. They had nothing to do with it. They weren't even in America. They weren't even in communication with the White House. Trump has been president for a matter of days when he did that. And he didn't do it because of Elon Musk. I don't know. They know the truth. They just don't want to admit it because it proves that they're just lying, thieving bastards. It is a kangaroo court. It does look like treason. I don't know what you're drinking, Christo. What are you drinking? What are the elements of treason, Christo? What are the elements of treason? Do you know the elements of treason in South Africa? I do. Do you? I'll bet you nobody here knows the elements of treason. Who knows the elements of treason? Somebody think they know them? I'm going to put them on the screen for y'all. How's that? Does that sound fair? Does that sound fair? Now, if you watch my video, you can't tell me you can know them because they were in my video. I'm just saying. All right, so here are the elements of treason, ladies and gentlemen, in South Africa. Under South African law, someone is considered to have committed treason against the country of South Africa, with the following being true. Otherwise, it's just bullshit. And so, Christoph, enter. It doesn't look like treason. No, it doesn't. It doesn't look like treason, Christo, because it doesn't meet the elements of the crime. As a former federal law enforcement official, as a counterintelligence agent, a badge and credential investigator, a law enforcement official, I will tell you that you have to meet the elements of a crime in order to prove a crime. All right? So, in order to prove a crime, you have to do it. There is no way to prove these elements. First off, the fact that they published what they did, and they said specifically, and they've gone to the media and said it, that they tried to convince the administration to not apply sanctions, which would harm all South Africans. The fact that they asked them not to cancel AGOA because it would harm South Africans. That alone is prima facie evidence that there should be no case, unless you have something specific. And none of these people are there. MK wasn't there. ANC wasn't there. They have no listening devices. They weren't in the meetings. They have no human sources to tell them what occurred in the meetings. So all they have is the public statements of AfriForum. And AfriForum statements make them look like brilliant, wonderful people who care about South Africans, and it makes the government, South African government, look like they don't give a flying flip about people. So let's talk about the elements of the crime, ladies and gentlemen. The crime of treason in South Africa, high treason. All right, because it was used by the National Party to go after people all the time. Any conduct unlawfully committed by a person owing allegiance to a state with the intention, the state being South Africa, Republic of South Africa, the intention of overthrowing the government of the Republic. They didn't say they wanted to overthrow the government, quite the contrary. Of coercing the government by violence into any action or inaction. There's no violence implied, stated, or encouraged here. Violating, threatening, or endangering the existence, independence, or security of the Republic. In no way have they done that. They've tried to protect the Republic or changing the constitutional structure of the Republic. They also didn't do that. There is no element of the crime here, folks. No element of the crime. It's just absolute horse malarkey. It's racist, bogus stuff. Because they're white, they're being attacked. That's what it comes down to exactly. And the ANC did exactly what they're accusing, except they did more. They murdered people, they bombed places, they firebombed places, but AfriForum hasn't done that. Only one case has been tried. Only one case has been tried in treason in the modern South Africa, and that would be the Boermag, and they were convicted of treason. Malema was charged with treason by the ANC, not convicted. Others have been charged, not convicted. This is their letter right here, and I've highlighted the relevant portions, which are tiny, so I'll read them to you. They recommend to the President of the United States that South Africa continue to be included in AGOA. How is that treasonous to South Africa? As an alternative to excluding South Africa, punitive measures, rather than be directed at senior ANC leaders, corrupt individuals, and those siding with international terrorist organizations. Well, how is that treasonous when you want the government to punish terrorists, international terrorist organizations? How is it treasonous because ANC leaders are party members? They're not the country of South Africa. That's not betrayal. If South Africa is no longer included in AGOA, they would like alternative agreements and methods be found that could soften the blow on individual farmers, manufacturing businesses, and ordinary citizens who would suffer the most because of the negative consequences of irresponsible actions and policy of the South African government. The Solidarity Movement disagrees with the ANC but loves our country. Our visit to the U.S. is to find a positive outcome for our country. There you go. There's nothing treasonous there whatsoever. Nothing treasonous. All they're doing is looking out for the best state for South Africans. Oh, yes, Lukey. I'm sure Harry Nell's all over it. They wouldn't have gone there without his advice. He's the best attorney in all of South Africa. Yeah, hotful bikers. You know, okay, look, okay. You're all going to sit here and you're going to sharpshoot me and say, yeah, it's South Africa. They're going to jail. It's going to happen. Fine. But let me tell you what. Do it. Do it. Watch what happens. Do you think that people that received an invitation to the White House legally, lawfully, came there, behaved themselves respectfully, met with officials in the administration, and then left, only to go home and be arrested for exercising their democratic rights under the South African Constitution? Do you think the United States for a moment is going to... You need to go read Joel Pollak's post on Twitter. Ain't going to happen, man. Ain't going to happen. It's lawfare. It's meant to tie them down and bankrupt them. That's what it's all about. Kathleen, AfriForum, and Solidarity did not stand up for the members. They stood up for all South Africans. I just read it to you. They stood up for all South Africans. There's a rumor going around. There's 7 arrest warrants. I think it's for corruption charge, and that's why the Hawks don't want to name names. Well, AfriForum's not involved in corruption, are they? Well, you're right, Stefan Fourie. I watched the show trials in Budapest and in Prague. Not when I was a little kid, but I wasn't born for Budapest. In Prague, I was just 3 or 4 years old. But I saw the film. I saw what happened there. That's just kangaroo trials. Chuck Schumer's guilty of treason. Yeah, possibly. It looks like men traveling abroad legally to me with valid passports. Exactly. Looks like a witch hunt. Of course it is. Mob justice. Yep. Yes, they do. And they have not crossed the line. Yep. Watched the video on Mugabe when they started having problems with white farmers, and then looked at interviews from Ramaphosa, verbatim, something. They're identical. DBE, I'm too white to pay income tax. I don't know about that. Krista says, makes sense. Wow, the hypocrisy. ANC did the exact same thing more in the 80s. Plus, okay, that's exactly right. They bombed and murdered people. They actually did commit treason. I'm also sure, yeah, got it. Okay. Louise Rayner, I have a business which almost 4 years and still can't make money due to inflammation. You mean inflation? I think the text changed on you. Reg Dog, good evening to you. In fact, the ANC want to take the blame away from them by using AfriForum as scapegoat. It speaks volumes. Yep. Hawks will come back with result of no result. Yeah, Daniel McQueen, I think you're right, and I hope you're right. It's funny, I've never sworn elegance to any government or prison. Look, the Hawks are obliged to look. I mean, I'm not a fan of the Hawks, but I will say this: they've proven to be much more effective than I thought they would be when they replaced the Scorpions. I was not a fan of the Scorpions. I thought it was extrajudicial, extra legal, and unnecessary, but they proved to be very effective, too effective. And when they started targeting corrupt ANC officials, that was the end of the Hawks. Leonard McCarthy and the Hawks, or not Hawks, that was the end of the Scorpions. Leonard McCarthy and the Scorpions, they took him down. Then they tried to destroy Leonard McCarthy, claiming he was corrupt. It was all bullshit. Trust me. Trust me, it was all bullshit. Anyway, Dr. Shireen, how's it going there? Good to see you again. Okay. The media said AfriForum. Hawk spokesperson didn't say yes or no. They have 7 arrest warrants. I think it's a publicity stunt to get the masses going. Again, I reported on the 10th of February. Look, I don't make this stuff up, folks. I have the receipts. You know, I mean, we all may forget, get a little older, forget things we said, but I knew I did a video on this, so I went back and I found it. It was on the 10th of February. MK on the 10th of February. There it is. Okay, here we go. 10 February. There it is. Files treason charges. Today is the 3rd of March. That's 3 weeks later. They already did this. Hello, folks. Welcome back to Chris Wyatt Reports. Who didn't see this one coming? Well, you can see that's a mile off. It's a betrayal. The Mkhonto Sizwe Party opens a treason case against AfriForum, the civil rights organization that stands up for South Africans, including black South Africans. An act of economic sabotage. MK Party lays charges of high treason against AfriForum, that appearing in News 24. MK Party supporters and military fatigue sang and clapped outside Cape Town Central Police Station as party deputy leader John Shlope and MP Mzwanele impeached John Shlope. Yes, disgraced John Shlope. That's from February 10th. Only got 14,000 views. 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. That's the video. This story broke through. I broke it. I don't remember other content creators. Maybe they did. Maybe I missed it. But I reported 3 weeks ago. So this morning, I got people sending me messages from SABC. I watched the video, and they made it look like new charges were being filed. So I did a quick try to go live, and for some reason, I was on for 5 minutes, and it showed me no buffering on my end, but other people are having lots of trouble. And then when I looked at the video later on, it said it was only 15 seconds long. That's BS. YouTube censoring me. But I got 11,000 views on a 15-second video. That was pretty entertaining. So my apologies for that, folks. Some people got to see it. Others couldn't see it, but sorry for the frustration. So I made a short, loaded the short, and that got a couple thousand views. Shorts don't do anything. And then, boy, that gray right there and right there are really looking white tonight with the light shine on those two spots. Anyway, yeah, so I got a chance to look at it this evening and see the facts, and it was, in fact, the same case I talked about. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but this is an old news story that's being recycled to put pressure on AfriForum. They didn't go to the U.S. to sell state secrets. Exactly. Do you think the team AfriForum Saudi will be used to be manipulated to change their stance while being arrested? I don't. Pierre Meyer, even if they are arrested, they'll be released on bail. Getting kids ready for school, says Vilma. All this ANC crap is starting to look like eye blind. All they do is keep attention while they're doing something before. Yeah, what are they doing with the budget? Yeah. I'm not falling for any trolls. It's just envious because AfriForum Saudi got an audience. Exactly, Gerard. That's what I said in my interview. I said they're just envious that you got an interview and they didn't. Yep. Or not an interview, but an office call. Fred says, for me as a South African, where do you go, Fred? Come back, Fred. I'm now realizing how we overreact on the smallest things. Exactly. That's why I did the video the other night, too. Because I saw, and I preempted this. I did it last night, and there's only 22,000 views. That sucks. U.S. cuts refugee funding for South Africa. That was a news article. It was factually correct, but it was clickbait. It was sensationalist, it's yellow journalism meant to scare people, saying the funding was cut for refugees. It was. But the refugee programs in South Africa aren't for South Africans. We don't process refugees from South Africa. There are no refugees from South Africa. There are no asylum seekers from South Africa. None of that's true. We don't have any asylum seekers. We don't have any refugees from South Africa. This is money that's used from the U.S. taxpayer to pay for Somalis and Sudanese who go to South Africa and have a safe haven there. And then we pay their living expenses, their medical expenses. What the hell is that all about? We are paying for it. And South Africans want to whine because we won't pay for Somalis and Sudanese who are in South Africa. You let them in. Who let the dogs out? You did, ANC. That's your responsibility, not mine. My timestamps are missing. Why are they missing there? God, this is frustrating when it all disappears. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up now in the chat. It jumped on me. Okay. That's what I was looking for. Some things people shouldn't say in chat. Nick Groves here. Hey, Nick, the treason charge just a scare tactic. Exactly. It'll have them bogged down with legal fees. Gideon Ruiz, hello to you. Snowing here in Japan. Where in Japan are you at, Gideon? Neanderthals, have a great day. All right. Marius, once the Hawks find the treason cases were bogus, then the Hawks should charge. Yeah, well, they won't, but they should. Good morning, Colonel. Wow, high treason for speaking the truth, President Trump. Yeah, Isabel, it's just nonsense. When land grabs start, they'll try to outdo each other. That's happening now. I got videos today of land grabs. NK Party, cry my beloved victimhood. There you go. Brom says, Will Brom, there it goes. Okay, I have a question about a person by the name of Roland S. Martin. He made a video 3 weeks ago titled Trump Prioritized South Africa Refugee Reset. To prove fraud is difficult in South Africa, believe me. So again, Hawks is maybe like FBI interfering in politics. They should be worried. Yeah, Brom, what about that video? I don't. What about that video? What are you asking me? Yeah, he sold South Africa down the river to the Guptas. Yeah, and his party is filing treason charges. Yeah, the irony is not lost on me. Yeah, the country acts like children, Francois. But South Africans overreact to everything. That's why I'm making videos all the time trying to calm people down. Just shows you how potent propaganda and media can be and how toxic in the wrong hands, so to speak. Exactly. Look at this Tuli Mandosela. The woman has got all kinds of accolades and decorations. She's a decorated prosecutor. She's got an award from the Germans, and she's proving to be just a fraud. She's not even South African. She's Swazi. Yes, she's South African. She's born in South Africa. But, you know, by the standards they use for the young lady who is now Miss Nigeria, then this woman isn't South African either because her parents weren't from South Africa. Tulisile Tuli Mondonsela, yeah, born in 1962, South African advocate and professor of law, holding a chair in social justice, Stellenbosch University. There's no such thing as social justice. Social justice is code for black supremacy. She served as the public protector of South Africa from 2009 to 2016 under Jacob Zuma. In 1996, she helped draft the final constitution of South Africa. And today she says that whites are just angry because they have to be ordinary now. Well, that's an awful lot of sick bigotry. Very sick bigotry. She attended the Evelyn Baring High School in Swaziland, which is where she's from. She was awarded Germany's highest individual honor, the Order of the Merit of the Federal Republic of Germany, by Frank Walter Steinmeier in 2018 during a state visit. And she is proven herself to be very much, if not a bigot, someone that just spews bigoted lines. It was shocking to see what she had to say, and we'll get to that shortly. Senior Fun Wyatt preemptively makes video causes he knows the BF compute. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I made the video last night, because I knew people would start freaking out. Yeah, exactly, Gerard. Let them continue with the. That's why I said bring it. You're gonna get exactly the whining, the pain you've been crying about that's not existing. You're gonna get it. Piss Trump off. Yep, Peter. That's my opening news story for tonight. Is Trump has ended all military shipments to Ukraine. Fuck around and find out, man. Narina, welcome to you. Ravani Faribas, Mr. Psych CD. ANC should continue with treason charges. Yep. Alan Coates is here. Gideon Rus. Just crossed the border in Ibaraki in the northeast of Tokyo. Okay. I was out. Well, let me see how far you are. I can do maps here. Kumagaya. Is that the place I went to? Kumagaya. Yeah, that's the place where I went for the rugby. I think that's where it's at. Yep, Kumagaya I went to. That's Ibaraki. That's over on the coast. Yeah, that's on the Ring of Fire. Yeah, I went to. So I wasn't quite that way, but Kumagaya is the furthest I went. That's slightly northwest of Tokyo for the World Cup, and I watched Uruguay play there and a couple other games. It was really cool. Love the fact U.S. mainstream media interviewed Afrikaners U.S. and tried to get them to confirm the Afrikaners won't accept refugee offer. They failed miserably. Who did that, Cheryl? I didn't see that. By the way, folks, you got to go vote in my poll. I mean, 2,172 votes. Yeah, no, we're still not. So we're at 85. 86, that's not right. How do you get 20, 40, 80, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8? Okay, yeah. About 85% of the people say they'll take up the offer or they'll wait. So that's part of it too. Anyway, there it is on Twitter. So go check it out. Feel free to vote over there on Twitter. It's only good for 7 days, and then I'll run it again probably, but we'll keep track of those polls. Well, the fact U.S. mainstream media interviewed off our Congress in the U.S. and try to get them to okay. It's just a method again to divert attention. Exactly right, Rihanna Brink. Exactly right. Charles on YouTube. I didn't see which. Okay, but that doesn't help me, Charles. On YouTube, there are only 857 million YouTube channels. Who? New York Times, Washington Post. That's what I'm asking. White forum shows where that brain is. Yeah, she said white forum. Exactly. Shows bigot and racism right there. No doubt about it. ANC, Trump is not going to make ANC change anything. They don't care. Well, Alan, I didn't say they're going to make him. I said they're going to suffer pain. That's what's going to happen. Well, we can't afford to pay for refugees in South Africa either, Charmaine. We're broke. All right, now, Mike, thanks for being here. Okay, let's get to some of this news stuff now. Pop it in here. U.S. pauses military aid to Ukraine, long overdue. After fueling a conflict for 3 years, the United States comes to its senses. Comes days after the meeting in the White House. U.S. will pause all military aid to Kiev, until President Trump determines Ukrainian President Zelensky is making a good faith effort towards peace negotiations. The President has been clear that he is focused on peace. We need our partners to be committed to that goal as well. We're pausing reviewing our aid to ensure that it's contributing to a solution. White House didn't announce under what conditions U.S. would resume the military aid, which drew from U.S. stockpiles, or whether it will be the same pace, while there isn't a clear understanding of what Washington wants from Kiev. Oh, there is a clear understanding. There's a clear understanding, Wall Street Journal. You captured once upon a time useful, reliable, conservative, and useful to publication. You become captured and propagandistic. There is clear. Trump said he wants a ceasefire. And then we'll negotiate the terms of peace. Zelensky doesn't want a ceasefire. He wants Ukrainian men and Russians to die and cities to be destroyed so he can be the big stud. Nope. Yeah, white form. I saw that. Yep. In fact, we'll play that shortly. So, yeah, that's what's going on there. Trump has suspended all military aid. Now, remember that this is what they tried to impeach him for the last time. They tried to impeach him for not giving Ukraine aid, and he did. Actually, he gave Ukraine aid. It was Obama that wouldn't give him aid. Trump gave them javelins, and they tried to impeach him. Here's the shocking news out of South Africa, except it's not shocking. They had actually gotten literacy in South Africa to 95%. Impressive. Up from about 65% to 95%. That was an impressive achievement. And like this, it's gone downhill. It hit 90 in 2021. It's dropped since then because COVID and the theft of resources for schools. 80% of third grade pupils in South Africa cannot read. 80% are functionally illiterate. Third grade. They should be reading in the third grade. The ability to read and write is one of the hallmarks of personal development required for economic progress, political participation, and self-expression. Well, it's not. You don't need literate people to be subsistence farmers, which is what the ANC wants. They want black people on farms being subservient and poor. That's what they want. Meanwhile, the Epic Times is run a story on South Africa. Yeah. South African farmers beset by land invasions. Some say it's land justice. Here you go. Actually, someone other than Chris Wyatt reporting land invasions in South Africa. South African squatters sit by their belongings after demolition workers demolished their shacks and the Pretoria court decision to evict them from their land. That's in 2001. That's an old photograph. Yep. There's a swath of land north of the coast of South Africa's lush KwaZulu-Natal province. Its beautiful endless rows of sugarcane fill the emerald rolling hills with a backdrop of an azure Indian Ocean. It looks peaceful, but a battle has raged here for almost 15 years. Yep. People occupying land. Oh, look at that. Zulu warriors. Mandela. Yep. And there is a super chat from Ernst. 40 Rand. Thank you for that. Where the heck's my bell? Here it is. Thank you for the super chat. Yep. I should wear their Springbok jerseys. It's one team, one nation, stronger together. I used to lose a lot of his tax base. Good luck with that. Yes, she called them. I saw that. Okay. Willie Smith, ERTC podcast was just a history lesson. Was hoping for more impact content. What is ERTC? Willie, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What is ERTC? I have no idea what that is. The serious answer I listened to thinks Zelensky will sign the agreement. He will be a fool not to. Well, Beauregard, He refused to sign it when he promised to do in Kiev. He refused to sign it when he promised to in Munich. He refused to sign it on the world stage at the White House when he agreed to do it. 3 times he refused to sign it. So we'll see if he signs it. Of course he's a fool. What do you expect? Yep. Even when I was in school nearly 2 decades ago, we had a couple kids in my school that could barely read 3-letter words and laughed about it. A couple of kids, not 80%, Gideon. Zelensky seems to play off the U.S. against the Soviets. Ain't going to happen. No, Trump ain't falling for it. Nope. Tinus Pretorius, thank you for the 14 Rand super chat. Your first super chat. Very much appreciated. Can't read the menu. They order by numbers and pictures. That's the way people vote, too, by pictures. Zelensky seems to be playing. Okay, wow, that's a lot of videos on X and other platforms. Ukraine army grabbing young man off the streets. Yeah, I've seen those. He has no cards. That's right. He has no cards. All right, so AfriForum says that they're being targeted, and they're correct. AfriForum CEO Khalid Creel said he was aware of the 4 dockets of high treason were open in response to allegations of misleading information regarding South Africa's Expropriation Act. Government is targeting its opponents for entertaining false charges of high treason against those who fight for property rights and expose human rights abuses against Afrikaners. He says, I have no sleepless nights over the Hawks investigation against us. There are no grounds for these charges. Instead of wasting time on this issue, the Hawks should rather focus on the 1994 ANC leaders implicated for corruption by the Zondo Commission. Creel defended their visit to the White House, saying it stemmed from frustration of the South African government's refusal to address their concerns. He added the party was ready to fight in court. From outside, we're trying to save the country from a disaster with regards to disrespect to property rights. So if we're going to court, we'll state our case, and we'll show South Africa how disloyal ANC leaders are. Yep. Yeah, that's right. Good on them. Good on them. Well, what do you suggest there, Willie? What do you suggest? Any better news channels than CNN, ENCA, SABC? Yeah, actually, that Indian there's an Indian channel that's pretty good. I can't think of the name of it right now. Look, they're all equally evil. What you need is the ability to think critically. Not be critical, but think critically. Anybody can be critical, but think critically. Question the sources. And then you'll be able to discern for yourself what's real and not. I watch it all, except MSNBC. It's just too nauseating. Too nauseating. Alexander, grade 8 is back. Really want to go to the U.S., but since it's taking so long, I'll be flying out to Uruguay next Friday. Well, you're incredibly impatient, Alexander. It has not even been a month. It's been 3 weeks. Did you expect it was going to happen overnight? Have you ever worked with the government before? Dude, that's impatient. Yeah, and how long were you waiting? So now that you've been sitting around and all this has been happening for 30 years and you didn't do anything, and then Trump mentions he's going to make an offer and he didn't give it to you in 3 weeks, you're going? I don't understand that. Not criticizing, I just don't understand that. Oh, well, there won't be any money from World Bank, Robert. You're right. Well, Gerardo Steenkamp, I thought only the government could bring treason charges too, but according to research I did, individuals who brought, the ANC as a party brought a treason charge against Malema and actually went to court. So I don't know. That's strange. It is strange. Anyway. So why in the world would you destroy a very prosperous, successful golf course in Cape Town to build low-income housing? 25,000 international tourists golf there every year. You know how much money that brings to Cape Town? What kind of morons are running Cape Town? Oh, that's right. I forgot. It's the Democratic Alliance. I'm sorry, DA. That's, stupid people should wear signs. That way you wouldn't ask me questions. Here's your sign. So I'm sorry. Cape Town, City of Cape Town, why are you going to destroy this functional, profitable, successful golf course? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see your sign. Here's your sign. Yep. Yeah, I would love to see President Trump just destroy Ramaphosa like that. Daily Maverick News, Khoisan asked Trump to take Britain and Portugal and apartheid government to world court over land. Oh, yeah, I heard about that, Daily Maverick. Let me find that. Someone mentioned that earlier. That's brilliant. That's brilliant, Daily Maverick. Yeah, I forgot about that. Someone mentioned, I saw it in a text. Let me look for that. That is brilliant. I'm loving the Khoisan. Okay. Malema rejects the VAT hike. There you go. Khoisan asked Trump to take. There you go, baby. Oh, it's all falling apart for the ANC now. It's coming from every angle. Next, the Zulu will take them to court. Here it is, Khoisan. Thank you for mentioning. I'm going to make a video on that. Asked Trump to take Britain, Portugal, and apartheid government to world court over land dispossession. So what exactly is Britain and Portugal going to do for land for the Khoisan? Seriously. By the way, that's gone now. They tore that up. That doesn't exist anymore. They finally tore it up. So what exactly, the World Court has no jurisdiction over these organizations. They didn't exist at the time. We find it imperative to remind the Trump administration that the complainants are often silent regarding their own historical actions involving expropriation of land from indigenous people without compensation. So that ain't going to go nowhere. But it's all falling apart for the ANC because the Khoisan get attention. So I love it. Dylan, take care. Bigger issues to sort out now, like getting peace in Ukraine and Israel. Exactly. South Africa is not a priority. Tried to tell people what's coming. Many are trapped in the mainstream bubble and decide to just focus on my family leaving. I follow where God leads. I get it, Alexander. I also think that all patriots can afford to. The Hawks investigate after reform, but Zuma, with his hundreds of fraud and corruption cases, still. Zandile Gumeda, 178 counts of fraud. She's finally back in court. Ace Magashule. Zweli Mkhize. Why am I the only person in South Africa, and I'm not even in South Africa, who's actually up in arms about Dr. Zweli Mkhize not having been arrested and charged with fraud over digital vibes? The Hawks found prima facie evidence that he committed fraud. He just needs to be tried. But it's been dealt with. No, it hasn't. He's drawing a salary in Parliament. He's voting on matters. He has no business in Parliament. He's a crook, according to the Hawks. I mean, that case is done and dusted. You don't even have to work at it. The whole file is there. You just got to blow the dust off of it. All the evidence is right there. They have it. Corrupt as the day is long. And Zweli Mkhize is still sitting in Parliament. Grumpy old SADF veteran. I like that. Hawks investigate after form, but Zoom. Yep. Okay. Anti House of Cards. It is House Cards. It's all falling apart now. Son is taking me into World Court. Sorry for the next question, Chris. Would you or do you perhaps know how long it takes to open up a bank account once the refugees arrive? You can open up a bank account as soon as you have a Social Security number, like that. In fact, I found a bank account that might interest people coming to America, and I'll show it to you. So I'm looking out for y'all. Not that it's my business, but looking out for y'all. By the way, I'm officially an old fart. I joined the American Association for Retired People because they had a special offer. They offered to people when they turn 50. It's for the elderly, but they offered people when they turn 50 so they keep their membership numbers up. But I joined the American Association of Retired Persons, AARP, which is a lobby group. I'm not a fan of theirs, but they offer all kinds of discounts and benefits. But they were offering membership for $11 per year for 5 years. Can't beat that. All right, so here's a bank account from Discover. Discover is a credit card started by Sears Roebuck back in the 1970s, if I recall correctly. And it's still a credit card, but they have banking services. So you get a cashback debit account, and you can build your credit. You get 1% back on a debit card purchase. That's pretty good. When debit cards first came out back in the 80s, I had a debit card with my bank, and it paid me 15 cents per transaction. 15 cents, not 1% of transaction. So if I had a $10 transaction, it was 15 cents. If it was a $100 transaction, it was 15 cents for a debit card. Debit cards come directly out of your account, so you can't take any more money out than what's in there. But it is used as a credit card. It shows up as a credit card, and you're paying it off, so you build credit. So Discover that's a bank. Whoops. Whoa, that's the wrong button right there. There we go. Yep. Nobody has Vitality. That's some South African crap. So there you go. Apply for a cashback debit account without impacting your credit score. No fee checking account. There you go. You don't pay anything for your checking account. And you can get paid early in your direct deposit. They'll even give you your money 2 days before your direct deposit, no interest. So fraud protection, digital wallets, 60,000 ATMs, fee-free. You can add cash. You can use Zella to send money, no charge. Overdraft you can have. There you go. So here's Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. And all right, so here's all the benefits you get. Access to 60,000 no-fee ATMs in the U.S. But you have to have a Social Security number in order to have a bank account in America. So once you get to America, if you come here, you'll get a Social Security number pretty quickly, and you can go apply. You'll have a bank account like that. Like that. Lickety-split. Just like that. I have bank accounts all over the place because I've been stationed all over the place, and I have never closed a lot of them. Just keep money in here and there, so... Also remember that your bank deposits in America are insured to, is it $250,000 or $400,000? I don't know what the figure is now. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, which, by the way, I've been to. The FDIC, I've actually been to their location before. Took war college students down. It was pretty cool. Okay, so there it is. It was Gordon. If there's the answer, you can go check that one out. How was the first working day for a while? Well, Arc Precision, every day is a working day. How was my first working stiff day for a while? It's boring. My account was closed because you have to go. It used to be, so the government, this is how stupid their security is now. I used to be able to use a card reader and stick my common access card with a chip in it into it, log into the government server periodically. It used to be 6 months. If I did it once in 6 months, it was okay. Then they made it 90 days. Then they made it every 30 days. Then they, last year, the year before, made it, you had to do it from a government server. So you had to be in a government facility. Well, there's no government facility here. I'm at home. I have to go 16 kilometers once a month to sign in when I'm not even getting paid. I'm not wasting the petrol. So my account was suspended. It's still there, but I have to apply for it and get a sponsor and wait for them to turn it back on. And oh my gosh. Then on top of that, we have this little USB-C drive that's that kind of clones your account so you can log onto one machine, because oftentimes we have to have multiple machines up to do presentations on different screens up there. So they make those for us. I had to reprovision that. Had to reprovision that this morning. And then I had to get my password set for the unclassified network, and I logged into that, which wasn't working properly. I finally got to work later in the day. So I did that, and then took the first presentation, went through the changes they wanted, and then did some edits on that, produced a few new maps, and changed the language on it. And that was my boring day. Hawks are so run so nothing will happen to the caters. You're welcome, Gordon. Animal farm we're living in. The problem is that all the parties have lots of dirt on each other. Okay. Shamila Boloy was only appointed as head of the MPA after she committed. Yeah, exactly. A South African court has found that the bequest by Grantland Mitchell Bray, who believed a white genocide was imminent to be a white supremacist paramilitary group. What's this? A South African court has found that the bequest by a bequest, he left money, who believed a white genocide was imminent to be a white supremacist paramilitary group is against the law. His bequest? I don't understand that. What are you talking about? So he's dead? He left some money to somebody? I don't understand that. The Daily Maverick. Okay. I don't know. I don't understand that. You only have so many characters, but I'm trying to understand what you're getting at. McDonald's desk. Naidu. Wrights. Dugan. Jocelyn Smith. I don't see anything on that here. I'm sure it's somewhere, but I don't see it. Anyway, if the Hawks have all the rest, yeah, there'd be no parliaments left. I believe you can also get a bank account number in the U.S. through Wise. Yeah, possibly, Gideon. Is Trump going to have a deal with Putin if Europe is not included? Well, it won't be much of a deal if the Russians cease fire and then the Ukrainians attack them. I mean, so that was the funny thing lost in the conversation with Zelensky too. He's like, whoa, the Russians are breaking the ceasefire all the time. Well, so are you. I mean, it's not like you're not attacking into Russia. You're flying drones and shooting ATACMS in at Russian cities, murdering civilians, not attacking military infrastructure, industrial infrastructure, but attacking residential areas. And they're not mistakes. It's intentional. So these are war crimes committed by the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians have to cease fire as well, not just the Russians. So they talk about the Russians breaking the ceasefire. Well, you've got to cease fire too, buddy. Simple as that. So, get your act together. Sorry, I want to charge my power bank here. Just realized I couldn't sit here charging this thing all along. It's at 88%. I want to get it to 100%. It's a pretty cool power bank. This I got from the URC final. Check it out. As a accredited journalist, they gave us some little nice gift bags, and that was in there. 22 June 2024, South Africa. Loftus Versfeld. I love those guys. They're fantastic. Even if I don't like the Bulls. No, I'm just kidding. What do you say about it? I haven't seen the interview, Miguel. I haven't seen the interview. I worked all day. I came home. I worked again. I took an hour and a half break to get something to eat and watch one television show. Came back in here and sat down and went right back to work, and I haven't had time to watch it. Landmark ruling blocking a 40 million bequest to Bourlegon by deceased man who believed that white genocide was imminent. Okay, so that's the one. Okay, Judge Roshani Ali. That sounds like a fraudulent case. Okay. Okay, let me search for that on Google now. So, Judge Roshani Ali. There it is, Daily Maverick. White genocide bequest to paramilitary Borg Legion halted by Western Cape High Court. Found that the bequest is against the law. Why is it against the law? He died in 2022, had named the Borg Legion as beneficiary of the state and wanted the funds to be used for paramilitary training. Bray's two sisters and brothers who are trustees and beneficiaries of the estate challenged the will on the grounds that the bequest was vague and contrary to public policy. They request the court to devolve the assets bequeathed into intestate succession. Proclaimed that his wealth be used for an organization that would exterminate every black person. Well, that's the problem. He directed his money to be used to murder people. I mean, you can't do that. You can't do that. That's just stupid. Wow. Wow. The stated objectives of Borg Legion, as well as the purpose for which Bray wished to have the funds used, fell afoul of the law. I don't know about stated purpose. I don't know what Borg Legion's stated purpose is. But yeah, the reason for the funds, it negates that. You can't leave money to people to murder other people. That's nonsense. What is going on here? What is Marius asking? Hey, Marius, talking about 40 million left building and the kids now kicked out father years ago as contestant. Yeah, no, they shouldn't get the money either. They sound like little scumbags. Tariffs on South Africa? No, but they begin right now on Mexico and Canada. They're in effect. 25% tariffs on Mexico, 25% on all goods from Canada except for energy, which is 10%. Okay? Gil had to go to the hospital. Wife had a cyst. Sorry about that. That's crazy. All right, so now we're straight on that. Okay. Okay, well, stop. Marius, you're thanking Gerard for what paperwork? What are you talking about? Is this refugee stuff? What are you guys talking about? Oh, Marius says, can anyone help me write, please? The form I need to fill in for the refugee program is nice. No, it's not. It's not. It's not. Go ahead and fill it out. Fill it out. You don't know that that's going to be the form. And there's nowhere to send it right now. There's no program. You want to go ahead and download it, go to USCIS. I mean, do people even watch my videos? I mean, honestly. Download the form. Fill it out. There's nowhere to send it. And I can't guarantee that's going to be the form. That's a standard form. This will be a special program for South Africa. It might use that form. It might not. But don't tell people it's a form because none of us know that. We don't know that for a fact. Oh, really, Alan? That's pretty cool. Plenty of messages asked Tucker to get you on the show. Well, thank you all for that. I'll watch it. See if I can see the messages. Wow, that's cool. Steve says deep breath. I'm taking deep breaths, man. I'm taking deep breaths. Just fill the form out if you want, but we don't know that it's a form. And if it is, then you're ahead of the game. At least you know what to expect on the form. So, yeah, it doesn't hurt to go look at it. But don't fill the form out and then go, oh, it was the wrong form. Because it could be the wrong form. Okay, now we're ready. Okay, what's this? He did not leave the money for people to be murdered. This is bullshit story made by siblings who left money for the training for Congress and self-defense techniques. Okay, Alexander, what did the will state? I haven't seen the will. All I see is what the media's reporting. So, I mean, I need to see the actual will. Well, patience is not a virtue. Patience is for people that grow old. Nope. All right, here we go. So, all right, I'm going to try to comment on this as I go along, okay? This is queued up. I've clipped these pieces together from the interview, and I'm going to put this in a video that I'll make. If I get up early enough in the morning, I'll do it in the morning. But and I'm going to add my commentary. So you're going to see live. So this is unedited. Woohoo! How many people know the skip calls? People just still to get scammed. I know what scam calls you're talking about. Okay. Yeah, you're right, Gerard. It's a little hasty. But anyway, if you want to look at the form, go ahead. I mean, you want to go look at the CIS website and see what it is, but you can't equate an in-country refugee program for people who aren't legally refugees, but they're being granted refugee status through the generosity of the Americans because of the danger to them, like Cuba, like Bosnia-Herzegovina, but unlike Somalia or Chad or Sudan or Uganda. Yeah, unlike those places. Okay, here we go. No offense taken, Marius. No offense taken. I just dropped my head. That's the first time I dropped it. Okay, here we go. Boom. All right, let's get this lady. This woman is just seething with hatred. Seething with hatred. She's married. Who would marry someone as evil as this? All right. So maybe another evil person. All right. So here we go. So this is her in a conversation with none other than Stellenbosch social justice warrior. Advocate. That would be Thuli Madonsela, who is the former public protector. So Thuli is a decorated individual South African and the best that South Africa has to offer, apparently. So let's go listen to what she says. I'll be stopping this every few seconds. So.
AfriForum's journey to the White House to rally support has been criticized as an act based on falsehood and disregard for South Africa's sovereignty. What dangers does the white genocide rhetoric present to the work done by South Africa in mending a past of segregation and pain?
Well, it does no danger because you lying sack of horse shit, they didn't say white genocide. Only liars like you, young lady, are the ones spreading the white genocide myth. AfriForum said no such thing. AfriForum said no such thing. Donald Trump did not mention farm murders in his executive order. Donald Trump did not talk about white genocide. Only losers like you with 8 pounds of makeup on and teased up hair with a push-up bra sitting in front of a camera actually say stuff like this. There's no danger because it doesn't exist. It's a fantasy in the mind of black supremacists and racists. A black supremacy racist. Only black supremacists and racists say nonsense like that. AfriForum never said white genocide. You said it to discredit them, and you're a fraud.
Social Justice Chair at Stellenbosch University, Professor Thuli Madonsela joins us for this discussion. Firstly, Professor, how do you assess the legality of AfriForum's efforts to mobilize international pressure on the South African government?
Now, before Professor answers, Mondosele, remember that the ANC went to London and to Berlin and to Amsterdam and to Washington lobbying for those countries to impose international sanctions on the previous government. They did this over and over and over and over again. Over and over again. Over and over again. And what they did was perfectly fine. Bombing and murdering people wasn't fine. That was treason and terrorism. But what they did in asking for sanctions was fine. So why is it different for AfriForum to do it? Because now the black supremacists are in charge?
Well, legally, it's a very difficult story, Masichaba, because we have to say they violated the law.
Okay. She says they violated the law. If you watch the entire 14 minutes, she never mentions a single law that they violated. This woman is lying. This is the esteemed public protector, the best legal minds that South Africa has to offer. An esteemed social justice warrior at Stellenbosch University. Stellenbosch should be ashamed of themselves. They should be ashamed of themselves. This woman says they broke the law. Then she offers no law that they broke because she knows they didn't break the law. But then she makes it worse by going on and basically encouraging people to file a class action lawsuit against these people, encouraging lawfare. This is a dangerous person.
All right. And who has been harmed by that violation. And then if there's anybody who's been harmed, that person or group of persons may take the matter to court as a class action or as an individual action. But morally, what AfriForum has done is reprehensible.
Really? What AfriForum has done is reprehensible. What she is doing is reprehensible. She's encouraging people to file frivolous lawsuits against individuals in South Africa, knowing what it will do to their personal finances. This is a dangerous individual who is an outright liar. Watch the entire 14 minutes. She doesn't mention one law that was broken, and she can't because they broke no law.
I think AfriForum is struggling with the reality of being ordinary.
The reality of being ordinary. Have you met anyone that works for AfriForum, young lady? She's older than me, by the way. I don't think she has. Masters, doctorates, published authors, leaders in their field, in environmentalism, in power production, in agriculture, I have never met anyone at AfriForum that's not impressive, including the 18 to 20-year-olds who work there. Dedicated, motivated, and those with academic degrees published. Ordinary, says an elite privileged caterer, bought and paid for. Ordinary. Wow.
Because the new South Africa requires all of us to be ordinary.
The new South Africa requires everybody to be ordinary. Only in the mind of a communist, only in the mind of a communist. If all South Africans are ordinary, we wouldn't have PayPal, we wouldn't have Tesla, we wouldn't have Starlink, we wouldn't have SpaceX, we wouldn't be putting people into space right now because the U.S. space industry failed minus SpaceX. Of course, some people are exceptional, extraordinary. We wouldn't have Tanya Schoonmaker winning gold medals in the Olympic swimming pool if she wasn't excellent. She's not ordinary. We would not have, what's the guy, the colored guy who wins the 400-meter races. He wouldn't be winning if he wasn't exceptional. This woman is a fool to herself, an absolute fool to herself.
Whereas colonialism and apartheid,
they just can't let go of colonialism and apartheid, can they? Forgetting the Bantu colonization of Southern Africa.
Made white people special people.
No, it didn't. It didn't make white people special people. Lying race hustlers and bigots tell that narrative. White people are not special unless they achieve. Black people are not special unless they achieve. Stop being a bigot.
I think some white people, and AfriForum in particular, is seeking to reverse the wheel and find some reason to be special again.
To reverse the wheel and for some reason be special. Those four men sitting there are more special than you ever be in your life. I've never heard one of them say a bad thing about a person who isn't white in any of my interactions with them. And I've had plenty of interactions with all of them except for Flip. Derek Harriman, Yaku, and Kali Creel I've had a number of interactions with. And I've had interactions with Kali Creel and with Derek Harriman going back 5 years. Never once heard them say anything evil or unkind about a person of color. And in fact, I've seen them go out of their way at AfriForum in particular to help people of color, while this woman perpetuates racial stereotypes. This is a dangerous individual, a dangerous individual.
And they seem to have found an ally in the American president. And clearly, that is neither compatible with social justice.
No, it's not, because social justice is bullshit. There's no such thing as social justice. It's non-existent. Social justice is woke speak for black supremacy. That's what it is. Thank you, Yolandi Smith. It is no such thing as social justice. Stop your bullshit. And that she's a professor of social justice.
No, compatible with human rights, as we celebrate Human Rights Month in South Africa, which is resonant with the Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
It's interesting. She says Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which calls for private property rights. She invokes the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and human rights, of which South Africa is a signatory of. The ANC's assented to it. The old government signed it, but they've assented to it. She invokes that and attacks AfriForum, a group of people who are being denied their human rights, of people who are being denied their protection under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights with the expropriation without compensation law, which is a violation of the concept of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. This is a scholar. This is a legal expert. This is the best and brightest that South Africa has to offer. Good Lord. She could win an argument with a bodega shop in frickin' Manhattan or Queens. She's completely clueless. Completely clueless. Wow.
That requires everyone to be treated as an equal.
Oh, everyone must be treated equal under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So why is it fair and just to take people's land without compensation? That's not equal treatment. Should we start taking land from black people and brown people too? Of course not. It's morally wrong. And it's not right to take land from people who own it, who bought the land. But she doesn't believe in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It's just a bumper sticker. It's just a bumper sticker. Yeah, she should be wearing a sign, Dylan.
The AfriForum, in its selfish quest for justice,
I'm sorry. The process for Bella and for the expropriation without compensation required public comment. In both cases, well over 700,000. I think it was 750,000 and 800,000 or something like that in these bills. Responses came in from the public. Over 90% plus in both cases opposed it. And what did the government do? Cyril Ramaphosa ignored the public consultation and signed the law. When the public was asked for their opinion, the people took the time to contact the government were overwhelmingly opposed to these acts, and he still signed them, completely ignoring the public sector. So how is it selfish? How is it selfish for them when they've been ignored and betrayed by the government that's supposed to represent them that they ask someone else to help them? She's an idiot.
Just us, or justice is just themselves.
Just themselves. No, you're a moron, lady. You want to talk? I'll have her on. You want somebody contact Stellenbosch? I'll be glad to talk to her. Yeah, if she thinks she's going to run rings around me, she's crazy. South Africa, they're asking South Africa to be left in AGOA, which is something the ANC hasn't even bothered to do. Do you realize that now Donald Trump signed this executive order on the 7th of February? It's the 4th of March, and the ANC government has not yet reached out to speak to the White House. They have not yet had an office call. They claim they tried to, but obviously they went through the wrong channels. They didn't go through Hatfield. So they asked AfriForum, not for just us, but for all South Africans, including this dingbat doorknob that's above me here from Newsroom Africa. They asked that South Africa continue to be included in AGOA, something the African National Congress has failed to do. They also asked that if they would be excluded from AGOA, that punitive measures be directed at political leaders rather and corrupt individuals and those that side with international terrorist organizations. And they said if they're no longer included AGOA, could there be alternative arrangements and methods be found that could soften the blow on farmers, manufacturing businesses, and ordinary citizens? By the way, ordinary citizens are black, white, brown, Christian, Muslim, Jew, Venda, Tswana, Basotho, Xhosa, Zulu, Portuguese, English, Afrikaner, all of those people, colors. Those are ordinary citizens who would suffer the most because of the irresponsible actions and policy of the South African government. So this woman is a flat-out liar, and she's a propagandist. She lied.
Is damaging brand South Africa honest?
AfriForum is damaging brand South Africa. Lady, you need a wake-up call. You caters really live in a bubble. You really do. You must sit around and eat your little champagne and caviar, hanging out in all the places you've pushed all the former MPs out of. And not MPs, but MPs, Nats, the Nats. All the places you push them out of. You must sit around and eat your caviar and look down on the world and go, you are completely clueless. Brand ANC, brand South Africa is rubbished. Rubbished, lady, rubbished. And not because of AfriForum.
Necessarily, because, of course, we know now, based on their claims, the American president has withdrawn support to South Africans who were relying on aid. And these are NGOs that are serving
white and black people. Okay, first off, that's a lie. She doesn't know that Donald Trump withdrew aid based on talking to AfriForum. That's just a flat-out lie. She has no evidence of that. The prima facie evidence would indicate that AfriForum had nothing to do with it. The executive order was issued on the 4th of February. AfriForum didn't go to the United States until the last week of February, weeks after the executive order was signed suspending the aid. She's a liar. A liar. She doesn't know that.
White and black people. And the people who are getting jobs from these NGOs are black and white people. And it has damaged them. It's
our money, sweetheart. It's our money. Your thieving government shouldn't have stolen trillions of rand for the past 30 years. There'd be plenty of money for all this. It's your responsibility. We gave you 22 years. You didn't take it. That's on you. Anyone who dies is a consequence of the neglect and negligence and kleptocracy of the African National Congress-led government of national unity, not the United States. Next.
Damaged relations between South Africa and America, because America has taken an approach that as long as a white person is harmed, then it will take issue. And it doesn't care that.
It doesn't care. This is just pure, unadulterated, hateful, racist rhetoric. Who the fuck do you think gets the money for antiretrovirals there, genius? About 90%, 95% of the money we spend in South Africa to save African lives are black lives. Black lives. We've been doing it for 22 years there, you dingbat doorknob. And you're going to bring your racist bile here? I don't think so. I don't think so. The United States government doesn't care. They only care when white people are dead. Are you high as a fucking kite? What are you smoking? Your socks there, sweetheart? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Every time some idiot like this opens her mouth, she's the distinguished chair of social justice at Stellenbosch University. Every time these clowns open up their mouth, they just give more ammunition to Donald Trump. They're just loading his magazine for him. It's like we're at Blood River, okay? And these are the collaborators right here. She's a collaborator. Sitting inside the lager, loading the muskets, cooling down the barrels, pouring water over them, hand them over so the men can fire. They're filling the magazine. Good God. No, she doesn't believe a word of it. She's not stupid, J.P. Dreckmeyer. She's very talented. She's very educated. She's very smart for a Swazi. Ooh, that was a dig about her nationality, because Herman Mashaba loves to take a dig at people that have parents born from outside the country, so I thought I'd join in with Herman there.
There is gender discrimination at a social level, not in law. There's gender murders, or women are murdered.
Women are murdered. So what are you going to do about it? It's the ANC responsibility. Gender-based violence is a South African phenomenon. It's your responsibility. ANC has done nothing about it. Go tell your cater friends. You work for Zuma. Go tell your cater friends to fix this problem. Oh, by the way, the United States was giving money for gender-based violence. We were spending millions of dollars every year to fight gender-based violence in South Africa. What about the ANC? What have they done? Every time they get in trouble for something else, their pants are down around their ankles. Oh, gender-based violence, gender-based violence. Wow. No, she doesn't believe anything she's saying. She's just a bought and paid for shill. Robert Franklin Moore, as I said, when she was a public protector, she was okay. Now suddenly lectures university, she changes and now becomes the attacker. Sorry, you have plenty of people losing their respect for you. Losing respect for her or losing respect for me, Robert? I didn't defend her when she's a public protector. I assume you're talking about losing respect for her. Yeah, she's trying to justify punishing white people for Trump's decisions, which have nothing to do with that reform. Don't think it's wise to take people on by their looks. Take their mind. People. Well, Kobus, no one's taking her by the looks. Talking about the presenter who's only there spewing nonsense and she doesn't know what she's talking about. She's just a better dressed person sitting in front of the camera. But yeah, people don't need to have gratuitous comments about people over here. Yeah, when the government treated her badly, a lot of white South Africans were behind her. She has a very short memory. Yeah, how did it change the gender? Exactly. AfriForum never mentioned gender. No, she's attacking America. She says we don't care about gender-based violence, but we actually spent money in South Africa to end gender-based violence. Not even our concern. YouTube on your WhatsApp with interview with colleague Creel. Thank you. Remove the seatbelts from automobiles. You can't fix stupid. Wonder what will happen if those guys get arrested and return. Well, they're already back, Herman. Yeah, AfriForum didn't cancel the aid. By the way, that's the other thing, Christo. South Africa acts like it's all targeting them. See, the media in South Africa aren't even being honest. They barely mentioned that aid's been suspended the whole world. The whole world had aid suspended. And they're like, oh, it's just us because AfriForum. AfriForum didn't get aid canceled in Pakistan or Bangladesh. Trump did that. AfriForum didn't get aid canceled in Botswana. Trump did that. AfriForum didn't get aid canceled in Namibia or Uganda or Kenya or the DRC. Trump did that. And this fool is telling us, well, it's because of AfriForum. Wait a second. This was 88. Now it's 87%. What kind of charging is that? It's going backwards. Nothing's plugged into it. It was 88. Now it says 87. That's crazy. No, Chris. Nor you look at chats. Huh? Kobus, I don't know what you're saying there, man. Crystal's asking me, do you think the refugee program for Afrikaners will come out in a few weeks, months, or years? Well, it won't be years. Trump is only president, and he's only able to get what he's done for 2 years. There's going to be a backlash against Trump. They're going to lie about him, and he's going to lose the House in the next election. So he's got to get everything done the first 2 years. Yep. So it's not going to be years. Months? It could be a few months, sure. I don't know. We don't know, Crystal. And I have been asked many times, but I don't mind answering again. I don't know. There's no indication from the government. Did the Colonel watch and comment, Tucker? I did not. America should take crap from, shouldn't take it. The government needs to be removed. 2 words. Iraqi. I don't think that's going to happen. She knows I spent each day in a queue in a state hospital filthy place for chronic meds from age 16 to 28. Now, who is privileged? Yep, Sonia. He's saying it wasn't you making fun of their features. Oh, okay, gotcha, Abby. I thank you. I didn't understand what he's saying. It's yes, yeah, my power bank is being ordinary. Now it's back to 88%. Yeah, Stellenbosch is right. Well, that's not her whole CV. Let me see what her whole CV is here. Thank you. I that's why I asked. I didn't understand what the text. You can only put so many characters, and sometimes it's unclear. That's why I asked. Okay, let me get where the heck is her CV at? There she is, Thule. Okay, she has got a bunch of honorary degrees. So she graduated from the University of Swaziland. Not exact. That's where she got her law degree in 1987. Not exactly a top university. The Witwatersrand ran in 1990. Also ranked very lowly. Stellenbosch ranked 420th in the world. She has an honors degree from Cape Town and honor degrees from Rhodes and Fort Hare. So she has no real education. That was a gratuitous, unfair dig. Yep. She claimed that, our spin doctor here in the UK at the moment is our PM, Sir Keir Sir Steer Karma. Yeah, he is a nut job. My humor doesn't lay charges of treason nor put racial laws in the books. Anything is fair game, bro. Your charger is faulty. You need to replace it. No, it's just ordinary, Marky Pretorius. My charger, my power bank is just striving to be ordinary. I haven't seen the video about the Neanderthal friend. What's that all about? Got her degrees on a special. She got it from Temu. Yes, she went on to Take a Lot. It was a Temu ad. They love the word degree in apartheid. Now, Africa just loves, that's one of the big problems we had in Liberia is that when we took recruits into the military, we warned them. They came in, the first thing they're told, and they're told by Liberians, not just Americans, do not submit fraudulent documentation. Don't give us a high school diploma if you haven't gone to high school. You're going to get an equivalency test. It's a West African Education Council test. It's going to determine what your literacy is and what your level of education is. Do not give us fake documentation. If you give us fake documentation, fake degrees, fake birth certificates, fake information, you will be discharged for fraud. We have a year to discharge you. And people still brought fraudulent documents. I went to Standerson Bible College, a bachelor's in accounting. There's no such university. They start investigating, find out there's no such university, or they find a university of Liberia, and this person never enrolled there. Gone, kicked out of the military. Africans just love shiny things, I'm not picking Africans, but it's a statement of fact. A lot of people love shiny things, but it's all over Africa. So in African countries, people who went to the staff college. So I went to staff college, L'École d'État Major in Tunisia. And if I went to an Anglophone country, say I was in Nigeria or South Africa, somewhere like that, after my colonel title, I would put PSC. PSC. Do you know what that means? That's not like a professional certificate or no. PSC just means you passed the staff college. They put that on their CVs. Unbelievable. And the title in their signature block, it's crazy. On their business cards. Yep, South Africans were doing it too. I don't know if they still do. Well, I saw a video of two black guys that have real doctorates saying that they can prove the ANC all bought their credentials from the same private university. I don't know. Finding some jokes funny is not a me problem. Okay, it just shows your IQ. People like this shouldn't be allowed to come in America. I know you haven't had this one those times. I just haven't heard it from you. How long does it take for the crafting a refugee plan as ours? Christian Ludovic, thank you for your patience, and it's okay to ask the question. Well, it shouldn't take long at all. The law exists. We process refugees every day. We don't send people every day. We process refugee applications every day, all over the world, in many embassies, particularly in Africa. It's not a new experience. Thank you, Renette, for subscribing. It's not a new experience. It shouldn't take long at all. I have no idea what the holdup is. No idea. And I don't think it's tied to the 90-day thing. I don't think it's tied to that at all. I just, it should be a priority. They were told to make it a priority, and they haven't made it a priority as far as I'm concerned. And shame on our embassy in South Africa. I think that we have bureaucrats in the embassy in South Africa who are slow rolling things. And maybe some heads are going to roll. Yep, we'll see. Africans love shiny things. You're so corrupt, and even the degree is fake, like the glue. Okay. Well, I didn't say anything about fake hair. I just said her hair was teased. It was. It's been flat ironed, and It was immaculate. It was coiffed like mine, but that's natural. No flat iron here. No curling iron involved. That's just me, man. That's just me. Look at that. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so her hair, I know how she does that. I lived in Africa. I have hung out by the salons where women get their hair done. They get their hair twisted and the braids and the dreads and the extensions and the flat irons. Yeah. Go through our personal accounts like Facebook, emails when we apply. Oh, Yappy, who will go through? The Americans? Probably. Probably. It is time for a cut, Jacques. It is looking dead sexy. I mean, that's a beautiful mane of hair, but it is time for a haircut. I'll probably get a haircut next week. Hey, and Gabe is here. I didn't see you there, man. Andre Roux? Floyd? What did Charmaine say? Oh, yeah, the fake degrees. Yeah. Good morning, Carl Erasmus. Thank God I don't have hair issues. I have a Yul Brenner cut. Abe, that'll save you a lot of money, man. Save you a lot of money. You're not Grizzly Adams, you know. No, I'm not Grizzly Adams. Hey, Michelle, how you doing this fine day? Oh, what a thing it is. A nose, it grows and grows and grows. It grows on her head. It grows in lying bed at the opposite end of your toes. Okay? Yeah, probably. I have no idea. Look, she has a degree from the University of Swaziland. That's where she got her law degree. So, in the logic of Herman Mashaba, she's not even South African. She was born in South Africa, but her parents were Swazi, so that makes her not a South African, according to Herman Mashaba. She's South African, of course. She was born there. I know it's a limerick, Nick. Anyway, I had some other stuff to share here. Let me see. So, oh yeah, this is a pretty shocking story here. I'm South Africa's Giselle Pellicot. A Cape Town woman fears husband drugged, raped, and photographed her. Apparently this is a thing, man. This is crazy. I mean, the French story wasn't a one-off. Apparently sick men are doing this to their wives, man. This is crazy. A Cape Town businesswoman accuses the police family violence child protection and sexual offense unit of failing to properly investigate her sexual assault, despite having photographic evidence of what happened to her. Police have reopened her case, which was withdrawn after being handled by 5 different detectives against whom she has lodged a formal complaint. She believes the perpetrator, whom she alleges is her husband, had drugged her and taken the images as trophies, but the officers dealing with her matter never seized the cell phone containing the incriminating photos. When she scrolled through her husband's phone, looking for evidence of his drug use to explain what she considered erratic behavior, she didn't expect to find photos of herself naked and unconscious with sex acts being performed on her. She reported her husband to the police. 3 years and 5 detectives later, he has not even given a statement to the authorities. The Cape Town businesswoman believes she may be South Africa's own Giselle Pellicot, the French woman who was clandestinely drugged and raped by her husband and 72 men invited by him to abuse her while she was unconscious. When she found the disturbing images on her now estranged husband's cell phone in October 2022, she went to the authorities. The discovery allegedly came after years of abuse in every possible way at the hands of the man who was also her business partner. She said she'd been scrolling through his phone for evidence of clandestine orders of tick and crystal meth after he had promised to stop his substance abuse and work on the marriage. And while her suspicions were confirmed with the messages like Magic Mike, she also stumbled upon disturbing content of herself in his photo gallery. In a photo marked personal, she found a range of images. In one of them, she was naked and kneeling in a praying position next to their bed. Further photos of the camera show her close-ups of her buttocks, her genitals, and one of a finger next to her anus and what appears to be the feces while she's posed in the background. Wow. I was 52. I was in my own house, not out somewhere acting irresponsible. The perpetrator was my husband, someone I trusted. And the cops did nothing. Wow. At one time in the Bahamas, I woke up my underwear torn on the floor. I'm meticulous about packing my clothes away. I had a headache and was urinating blood. Last thing I remember was a flirty conversation, unwilling on my part, with a couple at the hotel. I didn't consider that my own husband would possibly be drugging and abusing me or give me to other men. Wow. This is sick. So where is Tule Mondesela about this gender-based violence? The professor for social justice at Stellenbosch. Good morning, Yaku. Apologize for missing this. It was answered. I just wanted to find out if I would need a passport for free settlement. Takes forever to get a passport in South Africa. Well, we don't know, Yaku. It's a unique situation. It's an in-country refugee program. And it's possible, entirely possible, the United States would issue travel documents if you don't have a passport. We do that for refugees around the world. I don't know what the standard will be in South Africa. Of course, there's also the challenge that when you go to the airport, maybe the South Africans won't let you leave if you don't have a passport, and they won't recognize U.S. travel documents. But that would be a violation of international norms and the Vienna Conventions for diplomacy. So, but the ANC can do what they want and violate what they want. So I don't know the answer. I suspect you won't, but I can't tell you that's the case until we know the standards for the program. He was on The Hustler yesterday. Who was on there yesterday? Okay, Crypto Noob, take care. Okay. Would you consider a haircut, Ronaldo? No, Val Cooper. Absolutely not. Ronaldo's a 6-year-old who hasn't grown up yet. Nope. Not getting a silly haircut. High crime, no matter the race. Exactly. There's evil people of all races. Degeneracy runs deep. It's not just in South Africa. It's all over the world. I don't get why people would do crap like that. Well, because people are nasty. Every institution becomes corrupt, police force being one of the biggest culprits. People are supposed to protect and serve. Exactly. Where do the feminists stay? They stay quiet. That's good. Reprehensible. Rot started with cancer. Take care, Estelle. Used to admire Thule. That admiration is gone. Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. Well, she showed her true colors. Either she's bought and paid for, or she actually believes the stuff she spewed. Attacking the United States, saying the United States doesn't care unless it's white people are dead. Lady, we spent $8.1 billion saving black people in South Africa. What did you spend? What did you spend, Thule, to save black people? Not a penny. We, the American taxpayers, spent $8.1 million over 22 years and kept millions of South Africans from dying. And when your small-brained president, Thabo Mbeki, refused to allow us to give away nevirapine to protect infants, expectant mothers, giving birth, HIV-positive expectant mothers, we were giving away for free. You wouldn't let us give away for free. Yes, time is running out in South Africa. Yes, and the United States did sanction the South African government. The Comprehensive Anti-Apartheid Act of 1986 were sanctions. And that was a consequence of the ANC lobbying the United States, something that they seem to think is treasonous on the part of AfriForum. Why did they lobby the United States? Because their wants and needs and desires are being ignored by the National Party. Well, AfriForum's wants, needs, and desires are being completely ignored, legitimate wants, by the African National Congress-led government. So they asked the United States to pay attention to them. Yep. Bought and paid for. Yep, that's where my money's at too. 144. Bought and paid for. Yep. All right, Abe, have a good day. Be safe out there. Are you not friends with Ronaldo? Yeah? So? What, am I supposed to stand up for a silly haircut? Am I supposed to stand up for a silly haircut there, Jeremy? He's talking smack about me all the time. I almost never talk smack about Ronaldo. At least not on my program. I talk a little smack with him when I'm on his program when he says something to me. The article of Willem Petzer, I did not. Alexander Dugan, is you talking about, or you mean Robert Dugan? Marabani? Can you imagine how badly the Afrikaners will be blamed if sanctions do get implemented? Yeah, well, probably. Good morning, Franz Furry. You can leave your hat on. You can leave your hat on. So I thought it was like a pressure cooker, and one of these guys, one day it's going to explode. Well, it did. In July 2020, it did explode. Jeremy loves the banner. Yeah, so do me, man. But I mean, look, I'm just Ronaldo's haircut. That's people ask me for. Ooh, look, my ordinary power bank is up to 90% now. Just being ordinary. It's just being ordinary. Yeah, it's just an ordinary life. Never done anything. Never accomplished anything. Just sitting behind the microphone, eating Cheetos with my feet up on the table, talking smack. Never been anywhere, never done anything because, you know, I'm South African and I'm just supposed to be ordinary. And it just hurts me to think that I'm anything other than ordinary. Well, because, you know, Thule says because I'm white. That's the problem. Idaho Garden Girl, didn't know you were here. Thank you for the $2 super chat. It's been a slow super chat night. Yeah, you guys been spoiling me till tonight. Yep. Thank you so much for that. Zelensky owes $35 million home in Florida. I have no idea if he owns that. I've heard that. Okay. Becoming extraordinary now, the power bank. It's trying. It's at 91%. Look at that. It just jumped 1%. Wow. I've asked Nicholas. Haven't gotten a reply. We'll let you know once he does. Yes or no. Lost on that one. Yep. Anyway, it's crazy, isn't it, folks? It's absolutely crazy. But that's the world we live in. People say stupid stuff all the time. Yep. It's not an empowered power bank. Well, it is. It is historically disadvantaged. Look. It's historically disadvantaged. See my power bank? Historically disadvantaged. I've neglected it. That's why it's historically disadvantaged. See that? Historically disadvantaged. That's my historically disadvantaged power bank. Yeah, I've ignored it. I've not taken care of its basic needs. I'm like the ANC. My service delivery has been poor. No wonder it's charging so slowly. I've just ignored its needs. I mean, the indignity of that. This power bank deserved my love and care. When I received it at Loftus last year, I've only charged it once. I've neglected it. I haven't taken its rubbish out. I haven't serviced its water. I haven't given it a degree. I'm so sorry. I still love you. Ebony and ivory live together in perfect harmony, side by side on my piano keyboard. Oh Lord, why don't we? You know I love you. You're my favorite power bank. It's okay. All right. Anyway, the Dugan Doctrine. Okay. That's on Daily Maverick. I haven't seen that article. Ooh, I think Val is chatting me up. The white wall socket is funneling the empowerment way. Well, thankfully, I don't have ESCOM here. Oh, Trump stopped the funding, so I have no power to power up my power bank. That's what it is. Okay. It's been a year. Imagine you ignored it for 30 years. You can then blame it on a part. No. It's not my fault. All right. So my historically disadvantaged power bank, which I've ignored, is it's not me. It's Jan. It's Jan. There you go. I'm sorry. Hey, buddy. Wasn't me. Just like Shaggy said, picture this. We were both butt naked on the bathroom floor. Honey caught me red-handed. Honey caught me red-handed. No. Wasn't me. Wasn't me. It was Jan van Riebeck. And all the chat. I watched Ernst talking to Tucson last night. Tucson? You mean Tucker? Interesting conversation. Yep. Go by the crazy needs we support on YouTube. One talks to the power bank, the other one strips and live streams. Yes, my power bank needs funding. It's stuck at 91%. Drug it and then charge it. Yes, people are on the edge of the seats refuge program. You're very welcome. I'm sure the white power bank is always charged, and you have its own. Yeah, it's the white power bank sits in the shelf. Actually, I don't have any white power banks. They've all been pushed out because of BEE. I pushed all my white power banks out. They're no longer in service. I only have black ones. So, you doubt me? Here's another power bank. I only have black power banks. I mean, we employ full BEE regulations here in the house. So here's another power bank. They're all black. There are no white power banks. We have no power banks are being destroyed here. No power banks have been killed. There are no power bank crimes. Yes. Yep. All right. Easy now, folks. It's okay making jokes about the stupid things that politicians say, like historically disadvantaged in the context of today. It's a true story. We're not making fun of people suffering in the past. We're talking about the excuses now. Also, let's not make jokes about other people. So black South Africans deserve the same respect, and there are black South Africans in this chat, as everyone else. White South Africans, black South Africans, brown South Africans all deserve the same respect. So careful on the jokes. My jokes were all jokes about politicians, not about peoples. Not about peoples. So I want that to be clear. I was making jokes about the ludicrous arguments of politicians. That should be clear to everybody. All right? And I would ask anyone else not to make jokes about people as a group of people. We don't stereotype people here. We don't do that. Okay? Yeah, 31 years of nonsense, Michelle. That was the point of my power bank story. Abby agrees. Thank you, Abby. Now, I'm not accusing anybody of doing it. I just wanted to preempt that before anyone might have gotten a little carried away in their excitement there. Yep. You charge those with KFC. See, I don't charge them with KFC. I don't eat KFC. Thank you for sharing the truth and having our backs feel much better since canceling News 24 subscription. Well, actually, I have one, Jenny. It's fine that you cancel, but I have to maintain one so I can access the stories so that I can just, report when they're telling the truth and also obliterate when they tell fairy tales. Yes, politicians are trash, whether it's that side or this side. Trust me. And it's foolish me. I actually tried to become one of them last year. Can you imagine that? See, look at that. I ran for office last year and lost. So I almost became one of those politicians. There are actually some good politicians, not many. It's stuck on 91. It's stuck on 91. It was stuck on 88 for a while there. It's difficult to type, so I lurk in chat. I'm amazed at your energy. Hope you sleep. Hope to sleep. You are streaming. I wake up. You are streaming like an energy bunny. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, the government's black and white and corrupt all over. The government is black and white and corrupt all over. There you go. I agree with you. Glad you didn't become trash. Dylan. Transvaal. Okay, that's the language of the people in the media and in the ANC trying to push an agenda. So I refrain from that language. There's a very clear definition of what genocide is, a very legal, clear definition. What's happening in Gaza is not genocide. What happened to the Jews was genocide. What happened to the Sinti was genocide. Absolutely. What happened to the Armenians was genocide. Yep. What happened to Hutu and Tutsi in Rwanda was genocide. Absolutely. And in Bosnia, it was also a degree of genocide there too. So much info to digest. I blocked News 24 on my DMs. Their website doesn't work in my house. Okay, cool. Yeah, I am a power bank. Oh, it's at 92%. My power bank is striving to not be ordinary. Oh, it's so cool. I'll probably have to leave it all night just to get a full charge. But I got to check my phone. How are we doing there? Oh, my phone's at 14%. That's the end of the power bank charge. Sorry, you're going to have to stop at 92%, my friend. You know I love you. I'm disconnecting you. See that? Look at that. I'm giving preferential treatment to my mobile phone, which is at 14%. That's crazy. I didn't realize it was that low. 14%. El Marie Mayer gave a 35 Rand super chat. Thank you for that, young lady. Like a bridge over troubled water. Gosh, I wish I could sing. Yeah, my poor friend. This is really cool. I got this as a journalist at the grand finale of the unfortunate loss at Loftus. They won the quarterfinal. They won the semifinal. They were in the final, and they had it 2.5 meters from a try line, and they knocked it on. Disappointing, to say the least. But what a final. And I got a free power bank out of it. That was pretty cool. Yep. All my power banks. All my power banks are black, and the sky is gray, and the sky is gray. Get a seat in the White House press corps. No, Michelle, because it's all scam. Never even got an email. All I got was a return page confirming they got my request, and they never sent me a message. Never called me, never wrote me, never sent me an email. It's all a scam so that the Trump administration can get their friends from Breitbart, One American News, and all that in there. And they say we're having non-traditional. They'll stick one little, 19-year-old with perky breasts and bleach blonde hair and a very pretty face. They'll put her on camera and they'll say, see, we had non-traditional people in here. Or they'll let some buffoon like that guy that came in and says, Mr. President, why aren't you wearing a suit? Isn't that rude? What a dumb question. You have an opportunity to ask a question to the president of Ukraine in one of the most historic times in history, and your question to him is, why aren't you wearing a suit? We know why he isn't wearing a suit, because he's a disrespectful ass. So you don't need to ask that question. Ask him a real question. Mr. President, how many people do you have left that you can send in uniform? That's a better question. Alma Gerber, there's a 10 Rand 50 super chat. Thank you for that. Your first one ever. Thank you so much for that. Okay. I love how the American government honors service dogs. Yeah, no, we do honor service dogs. They get proper funerals and such too. When are you going to do a live from the river down there by you? Would be nice. You mean which river? The Susquehanna River? I've done a live and nobody watched it. A couple years ago, I went down to Susquehanna in the summertime. I did a live stream. I walked up and down the riverbank. It was really cool. And like 40 people watched it. I think we had like 8,000 subscribers at the time. Hey, Loretta, have a good night. or good day, I should say. Yeah, it'd be time to wrap up here before too long. Are you talking about the Susquehanna River? There's nowhere really to go down to the river around here except over on the island where the baseball arena is. I've done that too. Where the baseball park is, I've done in the evening with the beautiful sunsets and the mayflies flying all the bugs in the air and the baseball arena or baseball park out there. I've done that too. If you're talking about Yellow Breeches Creek, I've also done that. I've gone to I did one recently. That's not a river. It's a creek, by the way. That's not a river. Yellow Breeches Creek. 1, 2, 3, at least 5 different spots along Yellow Breeches, at different stages along about a 20 kilometer stretch. Desiree Finlay Botas giving a super chat. Thank you for that. Gideon Ruiz wants to know when I fell in love with rugby for 200 yen. Ooh, that's right. You're in Japan. Domo arigato. 1982, I was a freshman at university. On a Friday afternoon at the Reserve Officer Training course, we have a lab every Friday, which sucked. I had a language class on Friday, and I had ROTC on Friday. Almost everyone else I knew at university had no classes on Friday. It sucked. So they got 3-day weekends all the time, most people. I never did. Anyway, but I got a good education. So I was at the leadership lab. I don't know if we went to the range and fired rifles or something like that or whatever. But at the end of the thing was over. One of the upperclassmen, this black guy, says to me, really cool guy, I forget his name. He's like, hey, you coming to the game tonight? I'm like, it's Friday. The game's tomorrow. I thought he was talking about American football. He said, no, not football. Rugby. I'm like, man, I'm from Appalachia. We don't have rugby. I mean, I know what it is, but I've never seen it before. He goes, just come down to the band fields, down by the river, down by the Hocking River. He told me the time. He said, you'll have a great time. Relax. There'll be some beer. There'll be women. It's a great game. You'll have fun. I'm like, okay. So I went, hung out, watched the game. It was exciting. One team slaughtered the other team. It was club rugby. And I met someone there. We had a great time. And then afterwards, the guys shook hands. Everybody got along. I said, what a great sport. And that's when I fell in love with rugby, right there in 1982. When narrative keeps changing to align someone's viewpoint, it is often attacked to deflect from the truth. Jeremy Downing, that's very, very spot on. And that's what's happening. The narrative keeps changing. First, it was the executive orders because of whites. Then it was because of the ICJ case. Now it's because of white genocide, and it's because of farm murders. That has nothing to do with the order. The executive order had nothing to do with that. They blame Trump for being misinformed. Now they blame AfriForum and Solidarity. Who will they blame next? All deflection from what's really going on behind the scenes. What is the ANC up to? Mickey Dangerous gave a super chat too. Cool beans. Thank you for the super sticker, man. Media's been fishing that Trump is losing points in polls, but I think by the end of his term, he's going to be at a big win. It depends which polls you're talking about. It depends which topics. I saw the release of the polls, and on like 15 major issues, Trump was over 50% on every one of them. A couple of them, he was in the 70s. So you never get polls where presidents are in the 70s for any topic, so that's impressive. Yep. Have you ever heard of why Egg Chaser is such a... I have no idea why Egg Chaser is such a fan. All I know about Egg Chaser is that he started doing the stuff, if I recall, around the Rugby World Cup. He appears to be a very wealthy individual, has a boat and flies wherever he wants and does it for a hobby, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure why he does it, why it's important to him. But I just know his channel is growing like crazy, and congratulations to him. But my channel was growing like crazy, and then I had some scumbag lie about me to Supersport and ruin my interviews with Nas Bota. Nas and I were having such a great time during the World Cup and just ruined it for me, that jackass. So I have no idea why Egg Chaser is such a huge rugby fan. No idea. It's okay, Loretta. Watch it when you can. I've never met Trump, Andre Lou. The only president I've ever met in person was George Bush. Only person I ever met in person. Only president I ever met. Only American president. I met other presidents. Only American president I ever met in person was George Bush. All the murder people must have been misinformed. Yeah, exactly. Are they playing a blame game? Yes, they are, Erica. When I was younger, they said my nose looked like Hosni Mubarak's. I don't know if that's a compliment. You need a mama as backup to sing California. Yeah, Mama Cass. My mother knew Mama Cass. Did you guys know that? I don't think I ever told you that. My mother knew Mama Cass. She knew all those people. She knew the Beach Boys. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. My stepfather knows about this. You know, my brother was talking to me last time I saw him because he came to Pennsylvania recently, and we're talking. He's like, I couldn't believe this. Somebody told me that Mom knew the Beach Boys, you know, and knew Mama Cass and all these musicians. And I said, yeah. Well, how come nobody told me? I said, well, Robbie, I haven't seen you for years. I mean, it's not really important to me, but because he's an actor, he's a singer. And he's like, this is really important. I said, well, how'd you find out? He said, well, Dad told me about it. I said, yeah, no, your dad, he's a musician. So I'm a half brother. And he confirmed it. Yeah, no, I knew this for years. I never heard from him. I know it from relatives. I know it from my mother. Yeah, and then, of course, I think some of you don't know this. I knew Elvis Presley. It's like 1969 or something like that, and we lived in Memphis. And there's a super chat from Martin Fundameva. So we lived in a trailer park, so don't be impressed. Trailer park. We moved back across the country. We moved out the country across the country to California. Lived in California. I experienced my first earthquake out there as a little kid. Remember it. Came back and then wound up. There's the whole story about coming back, but wound up in Memphis in a trailer park. My father was doing some contracting work and worked as a direct contractor for Elvis Presley. So as a little kid, I ran around Graceland. It's Elvis before he blew up from the drugs and the lack of sleep and all that. It was shortly after that happened to him. But what a cool man, the nicest man. What an amazing. I was heartbroken when he died. I'll never forget. Was it 1977 or 78? You know, I was just going to say I never forgot, but I remember the experience, not the date. I think it might have been 78, maybe it was 77 when Elvis died. But I'll never forget it. I was actually taking a tricycle. It was a bike, but not a tricycle. It was kind of weird bike, an old one. And I've been sanding the rust off of it and restoring it. And I was spray painting, putting primer on it. My mother came out of the house on Oakthorpe Road in Fairfield County, Ohio, and said in our modular home, a step up from a mobile home, a modular home, and said that Elvis just died. And I started crying. He was such a nice man. Such a nice man. Yep. Oh, Mickey, I'm a huge Elvis fan too. I'm not a gospel music fan, but I love Elvis's gospel. Man. Elvis was amazing, Michelle. Yep. You're welcome, Dwayne Free. In your honest opinion, do you think things can turn? I can turn things around in a heartbeat, Michael. But it involves getting rid of a whole bunch of people sitting in Parliament who have no skills to be in Parliament. They're simply there because they're loyal to Latuli House or loyal to MK or loyal to the DA, not qualified to do their jobs. I mean, look at the nonsense from is it Dion George, the DA minister, whining about PEPFAR money going away and telling all these lies the other day about the gay community and how it was neglected. That's a bunch of horse crap. The United States has done more for the gay community than any country in the world. And we've done more for fighting HIV than any country in the world. So I don't want to hear his nonsense. Yeah, anyway. All right. Oh, Loretta, that's interesting. Okay. Well, Marcel, he asked me if I think that the situation could get better. I said, I can make it better. Anyway. Yeah, for Elvis will be forever missed. He was the king in so many ways. What a talented guy. It's a shame that Colonel Parker was involved with him because Colonel Parker was a scumbag, an absolute scumbag, and really hurt Elvis in so many ways. That's why he never did tours abroad because apparently Parker was an illegal immigrant from the Netherlands who came to America. That's what I understand. He wasn't even American. He was afraid to leave the country because he'd never get back in. Why not? Sure, they complained so much they came out. Yeah, exactly. Sim experience. Yeah. Oh no. Remember that was. It doesn't mean anything. The PEPFAR is only 17% of the HIV funds. Then after all these people lose their jobs and it's exposed just how important the PEPFAR funding is, now they're screaming. Because most people in the private sector that work in PEPFAR, work in HIV, are employed by the U.S. government funds. Yep. Jan is saying that Xi Jinping said by 2049 he wants China to be the world leader, diplomatically, economic, and military, and even space. Not going to happen. China owns 870 billion U.S. treasuries. Yeah, so what? We own 26 billion. Whoop-de-doo. No, he never had a show outside the United States, Loretta, because Colonel Parker. Yep. No, Michael J. and George Michael. Okay. Beat you singing songs 78's best music ever. Steve Young, I don't think so. I think the best music was the 80s. Best music was the 80s, hands down. And I ran so far away, couldn't get away. And I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk. Oh, come on, Eileen. Oh, I swear what I mean. And I'm hungry like the wolf. Best music, the 1600s, Gideon Ruiz. What was that? Handel in the Bottom Music Suite. Excuse me. Yeah, 80s were legend. 80s, yes, a legend. Excuse me. 80s were the best ever. Even the crappy music was good in the 80s. Even the crappy music was good in the 80s. And it was everything. It was pop. It was rock. It was rap. Everything was great. I mean, seriously, man. Oh, it crashed again. Why do you crash again, man? God bless it. Hang on a second here. This is in the 80s, right? Or was this the 90s? Hang on. I thought it was the 80s. Got an advert here. Country, the best music ever. I would probably not go along with that agreement. Yo, Awa. I don't know what all that you've been heard. Oh, Gideon, that's... Oh, you mean the earthquake or my singing? I've got the best beefs. Oh, well, Iggy Pop, I don't know about that. Yeah. Then you've got stuff that's more recent that's just silly stuff. This is just silly stuff. I love the parodies. Some of these parodies of some of these songs are really good. Yeah, Johnny Cash was talented. MC Hammer was pretty good, yep. Both. Gideon, you slay me. You wooed me, man. You wooed me. There we go. Here we go. This is this one. Some of you might not recognize this song. I'd probably get a copyright. Oh, to Tokyo. Anybody know what that is? Yeah, I love the parody of the parodies. Are awesome. Gen X rule. I don't know about that. The 80s, my children were teenagers. You can imagine I had no choice but to listen to their music, says Val. Weird Al was good back in the day, too. Rodriguez, the story that Saf was found in Chicago. Yeah, I know that the musician. I don't listen to the musician, but no. Yep, that's why I'm out of here as soon as that program starts, because once they have a major foothold. Okay, I wanted to say you're old man with some funk, but I'll never do that. Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Please stand up. Mickey, I listen to all kinds of music. So here you go. This is hang on. The one nice thing about YouTube is you can just find stuff from forever. I was talking to somebody today about the Southern European Broadcasting, which was what American Forces Network used to be before it was Armed Forces Network in Italy. And the guy who's also a colonel, retired around the time I did, never heard of him. And I played it for him. He was like, wow. Okay, here we go. So this is also something, almost nobody knows this song. Almost nobody knows this song. I'm not a Nirvana fan. I didn't like the Seattle grunge movement and stuff. Here's some space. I love it. I love it. I see there's some grunge people in the crowd. While two dogs are fighting over a bone, the third dog will take the bone. Yeah, there you go. That's South Africa. Yep. My mom, as a teen, my grand didn't like the Beatles. When my grand got older, she loved the Beatles. Yeah, go figure. Well, I wasn't a big Journey fan. Oh, Tarzan Boy. Yeah, that's Tarzana. Yeah. Baltimore. Yeah, that's an Italian group. They were one-hit wonder. Yep, Baltimore. Tarzan Boy. That was great, too. Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa. Now people know it. Sounds of Silence. That was another band. Jungle Nights. Why does this say ABBA? Did ABBA write this song? Oh, this isn't right. That's not what I'm looking for. Why did it show me that one? I want the actual... Where's the damn video at? Somebody get rid of the videos here? Oh, it's got Cheetos. I don't want a Cheetos ad. Come on, man. Wow, I'm getting a couple ads here now for some drug, Tremfya. I don't eat Tremfya. Oh, there it is. Okay. Night and Bank. Pet Shop Boys. Oh yeah, Pet Shop Boys are great. Yeah, Pet Shop Boys. I have the LP still from Pet Shop Boys, man. Trans Darby, Wishing Well was a good song. Yeah, good stuff. I mean, all the crappy songs were good back then. Come on, Eileen, you know. Tarzan Boy, yeah, it was great. Yeah, you're welcome for the memories. That was good stuff. I don't know those two. What was that one? Oh, Vietnam. I was 19. Yeah, that is by 19. Paul Hardcastle. Yeah, that was a song I was in the clubs all the time in 85. I think it came out. Paul Hardcastle. Yep. This was a great song. 19. The average age of the combat soldier in World War II was 26. In Vietnam, it was 19. 19. 19.
But it wasn't. It was different sex.
In Vietnam, it was 19. In Vietnam, it was 19. I got to be careful. Got to copyright stuff. Give it a couple seconds here. Oh, Alphaville. I'm a huge Alphaville fan. Big in Japan. That was the whole time I was in Japan for the Rugby World Cup. I kept singing Big in Japan. All the Japanese are like, what is wrong with him? Huge, man. Yeah, Paradise City Guns N' Roses is really good. Alphaville. Let's dance for a while. Heaven can wait. I want to be forever young. Oh, I like Sounds Like a Melody. That's a good one, too. Well, this is from 2020, remastered. I want the original, 1984.
Enjoy compliment.
I don't want an advert. Sandra. I'll never be Maria Magdalena. You're a creature of the night. Maria Magdalena, you're a victim of the fight. You need love, promise me delight. Yeah, she was great, but that lady did not age well. Proof that synthesizers are great for music, man. Oh my goodness. Go West, yeah. Yeah, the Bangles were okay. John Kilgore Mellencamp. Yeah, but he became a turd later in life, so we lost him. Yeah, music brings people together. Nobody's moaning about the refugee. No one's talking about Thule now. We're just enjoying the music. German band, by the way. Sandra's also German, of course. But yeah, Alphaville. Anyway, enough of that, man. Enough of that. Cool beans. All right. We lost a lot of people, too. We didn't get 500 likes. I started playing the music, and it just dropped off like a freaking rock there. Yeah, the best music, hands down, the 1980s, folks. No question about it. I mean, there's good music in all eras, but I mean, just consistently one hit after another. We didn't talk about Michael Jackson. We didn't even talk about Roxette. We didn't talk about the Cars. We didn't talk about the Police. We didn't talk about any of that. We didn't talk about Scorpions. I mean, all these great, I mean, even the crappy bands. So many one-hit wonders. It was amazing. It's amazing. Remember Kajagoogoo? You're too shy to shy. Hush, hush, I do I. Yep. And then you've got After the Fire. They did the Commissar song in English because you had Falco do it in German, and it was a worldwide hit. And then After the Fire, their only hit was in the English version, the Commissar. Yeah, man, just so many great songs. It's a Sin by the Pet Shop Boys. That's a good song, too. Yep. And then you had Jethro Tull. Okay, that's 70s, more like 70s, though, isn't it? All right. 99 Red Balloons. Depeche Mode. Yeah, I didn't go there. Wow. Depeche Mode. Yep. Oh, just so many great bands. New wave, pop, rock, and rap. It was all just a great time. Not to break your Hoy spirit, but I just remembered seeing a video of school children, small kids being taught the kiss. I didn't see that. Okay. Anyway, guys, it is late. And it's time for me to hit the rack. I'm up in 6 hours and going back to work. You have a good day. And I'll see you tomorrow from my mobile. It won't be announced. It'll be at 6 or 7, between 6 and 7, probably sometime tomorrow. Yeah, I'll do my broadcast on my mobile. And I'll try to park in a better spot so that I don't have the sun in my eyes. Thanks for being here. And Wang Chung, everybody have fun tonight. Everybody Wang Chung tonight. Yep, there you go. Good night, and we'll have a Wang Chung time tonight. Cheers.